fuck me. God damn it.
Not
Don't
interested.
beg for it. Come on, you're better than
No,
than
no.
that.
I just realized that I want a snack.
Just run through a little intro here if anybody's watching or be watching this later on. We're gonna be taking a look at what's his name? He's so unimportant I can't even remember what his name is.
Well, Nostalgia Critic.
Nostalgia Critic, he's here. And we'll be taking a look at his arguments for the 11 dumbest moments in Lord of the Rings. I'm sure they're all accurate. We won't find any misinformation here.
I remember two things from Nostalgia Critic's video, and it was about, one was about Gimli, and one was about Frodo and Sam.
Oh, all three of them are gay, right? One thing I did pick up on now, though, is like, I didn't know until recently, but the actor that played Gimli was allergic to the prosthetics on his face. So, like, every time I see him with puffy eyes, I'm always like, that's why.
Now you know.
Oh, that's
Now I know.
lame.
Well, it's funny, like, I think someone asked him, would you ever do the Lord of the Rings films again? He was like, no.
I remember reading a story about Gimli's, the actor that plays Gimli. There's a story about him and like some stunt guys when they were doing a fight scene.
Oh,
And
yeah, I
apparently,
heard about that.
yeah, apparently, like we kept hitting them really hard in all the takes.
Like, he didn't follow, like, what they needed to do. He was like, he's gonna come after me first. And he was like, yes, I will. And then he was like, I'll hit you, then I'm gonna hit you, and then I'm gonna hit you.
Yeah, he was like ordering the stunt guys to hit him harder.
Are you guys ready to get started then?
Yeah, let's get this shit over with.
Yeah.
Are we
for
not?
real.
Let's do it.
Oh God, how
And I'm
will this
also not going to
assist?
draw too many differences from the books. It's an adaptation, things have to be changed, I get that. I'm only judging these goofy choices in the realm of the films themselves. So, let's look over one of cinema's greatest accomplishments by acknowledging its top 11 greatest downfalls. Why top 11?
Yeah.
Stupid fat hobbit.
This is the top 11 dumbest Lord of the Rings moments.
Can't wait. Alright, he's gonna start. Okay, I was gonna say, is he gonna start with the romance? Surely not. Because the romance predates the movie. So,
You never know.
you know what? Never mind. I'll wait. Because I don't know what his thing is yet. I'll just wait.
Just letting Gandalf die. Yeah, kinda shocked nobody ever talks about this one.
Alright,
Is that a dumb?
I'm glad he brought this up because it's a good opportunity to recant my statement from the last stream where I thought this was a valid criticism. I think there is a flaw in it, but the flaw isn't that they let them fall, because as soon as he does fall, they're immediately barraged by arrows. Like they're literally ducking under them to escape. But it is weird how the goblins were scared as fuck as the Balrog. They disappeared, and then as soon as the Balrog fell, they're like teleported right
just
there
show up again.
on the edge, and they're shooting. I mean, surely they would have been hiding longer than 4 seconds, you know?
Yeah. That makes sense.
In the book, as well as in the animated movie,
Also, you know, this movie has been out for 20 years.
Yeah.
I never knew what happened to Gandalf's staff in this fight. Do you guys know?
Did it fall?
I mean, he
Yeah, I
was
always
using it.
wondered because, like, he has his staff when he's on the bridge, and then when he falls, he grabs his sword. And, yeah, it could be assumed that he dropped it. But what actually happened is it shattered. When he said, "You shall not pass!" it just shatters and explodes. And I never caught that.
No shit.
Until it was pointed out to me. And then I saw it last week or whatever. I'm like, dude, that is attention to detail. Even though I've missed it for 20 years, I just think it's super cool.
Yeah, exactly.
when Gandalf is facing the Balrog uses the whip to drag him down with him, causing Gandalf to shout, "Fly, you fools!" as he plunges to his death.
Oh god, he's not gonna bring up "Fly, you fools," is he?
Probably. I wouldn't put it behind him.
I've got I got plenty of stuff for that.
In Fellowship, he hangs onto the cliff, most likely trying to make the line more dramatic.
Fly, you fools!
But the question is, if he's hanging onto the cliff, why is...
Yeah, look, you can't even see
fuck is that
the.
sound?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now it's fine.
What happened?
Anyways, if you look in that shot there, there's no goblins, but then when he falls,
everyone
there's
just
like a
looking?
dozen.
If
That's
he's
right.
hanging onto the cliff, why is everyone just looking at him? Nobody thinks to run over and actually pull him up. Go! Save him! He's right there! You still got time, you little idiots! No, I take it back. Frodo does. It's one of the few times he actually tries to take action. But what do? They hold him
One of the
back.
few times he tries to take
There's
action.
no reason to.
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah, that's
That's
an
an interesting comment.
Yeah.
Of course, he's not gonna back it up with anything, you know.
Well, why should he? Because clearly Frodo is doing that for no reason.
Just talking it's just talking a high-pitched voice.
suppose if you wanted to go out on a
Frodo's very
stretch, you could
feminine.
make the assumption that maybe the
Oh my god, are you trying to suggest something about maybe his sexuality?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
orcs are firing at them. But hell, if you're just going to stand there and look at him anyway, the very least you could do is be a moving target by walking
Why didn't they throw him a rope? I feel like this is what that is.
Why didn't they toss Frodo to help him?
Yeah.
forward and picking him up. But
I mean, technically, Sam did have a rope.
No, he's gone.
Or did he not at this
I'm
point?
right here.
He's never coming back.
I haven't
Nah.
even
Did he
left
do
yet.
anything
must
with
move
it?
on
I don't
without him.
remember.
Oh no, wait, he doesn't have the rope here because when they arrive
Oh yeah,
at
they
the,
haven't visited him yet.
yeah, because that one guy's like, 9 there were, where's Gandalf, or whatever he says.
I can hear every word you're saying.
Remember he told us to fly.
Yes, fly forward and grab me,
He will
please.
live forever in our
I'd
hearts.
much rather live the real way.
Our friend is gone.
Oh, fuck this noise. Tell me everything. It still makes no sense whatsoever. The only justification I can have for this is that, well, it did give us a cool intro to Outtakes. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, obviously.
That opening was
What's wrong with
awesome.
this guy's face?
Even if they did land this giant lake and somehow ended up not coming out. In fact, why were they concerned for him if he could survive a fall into a lake and yet still have the strength to walk up to the top of a mountain?
Because he's like a fucking angel, that's why.
Yeah, I was gonna say
He's not
is-
an old man.
this is like in the lore, so I'm not trying to say this justifies it in the movie, but in the lore, I guess because he was of the Astari, whenever like his
Yeah.
magic is based on like the opponent, so if he's going up against the Balrog, then his magic is equal to that of the Balrog, but if he's going up the
Yeah,
men,
they're of the same plane.
yeah, that's why he never uses magic against like a rabble of orcs and things like that, you know?
Yeah.
Because they're lower beings.
Take this enough.
Fly, you fools!
Number 10.
Fuck is this music?
I don't know. This
think
is
it's him.
funny. Don't you get it? It's a joke. God, you're
Get
so
it?
insufferable.
I am
I
insufferable.
don't know.
Those bajillion endings. Yeah.
What?
Bajillion endings.
The endings.
That's one of the dumbest Lord of the Rings
Long,
moments.
long ending
Wait a
bad.
minute. Endings and moments. What? Oh my
Now you all
God.
knew this was coming. On the one hand, you can't blame these people for having an ending that goes on forever. I mean, it's wrapping up
their
3
ending is
very
great,
big,
though.
very long
See, there you go.
movies.
He just disproved his own. He just criticized.
What did he say?
He said, "Oh well, to be fair, it's wrapping up 3 like really long movies." Just like, well, yeah.
Okay, so
obviously.
go fuck
Exactly,
yourself.
exactly.
Yeah, moving
that's
on.
Why, that's number 9 down.
Right.
Lots of characters and stories need closure.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's,
I
He's
think
doing it.
all
He's-
the
there's
endings as,
literally
like-
dozens of characters that you get
Like-
invested in.
He's doing the work for
Here's
us.
the thing. Everyone knows that I fucking love Star Wars, right?
You do?
I constantly have, yeah, exactly. I constantly have like episodes 1 through 6 marathons, right? And that's about 13 hours. And when I do the Lord of the Rings marathons, I watch the extended versions, obviously, and it's just barely under. These three movies are like an hour and a half less than the 6 Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
So the 20-minute ending, or however long it is, 20, 30 minutes, it makes sense because exactly like you said, there's a lot of shit they have to wrap up.
Yeah, it's kind of needed.
Why is this a problem?
Could you imagine if they ended it to where, like, oh, Aragorn was crowned, and then that was it? You don't know what happened to anybody else.
No, when the ring was destroyed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. The,
You're like,
eagle,
oh, happy
the Eagles
ending.
show up.
Oh, there you go,
The
Adventure
Eagles
Time.
show up,
Yeah.
pick up Frodo and Sam, and then it just fades to black and credits. Like, that's
roll
it.
credits,
Like, what the fuck?
Wait, what?
You go to the Eagles' nest, and Sam and Frodo are dead because the Eagles ate them.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be like the ending of Inception. Like, oh, what do you think happened? Did the Eagles eat them, or did they take
it's
them
up
back
to-
to the thing?
It's up to your
It's
own
like, oh, what the-
interpretation.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck that.
It's all about those themes.
That's not what I necessarily take issue with. What I take issue with is the fake outs. Every other second it...
Wait a minute. Is your issue that there's a bajillion endings or fake outs? He's
Fake
kind
outs,
of like...
apparently.
I think it's fake outs.
Here's my conclusion. Here's my evidence. Well, your evidence doesn't support your conclusion. So let's just make more unjustified claims.
looks like the credits are about to roll. Instead,
Maybe-
they keep the plots coming. At first, it looks like it's going to end with Sam and Frodo together on the volcano, but then it
Why
keeps
would
going.
it end there? We just made, oh my god, I just literally made a joke about it ending there as a joke. And he's
mean,
just like,
maybe-
we all thought that, it would just end with Sam and Frodo on the volcano being stranded.
Yeah,
Like, where's the happy ending in that?
I guess the Steel Man, his position, maybe he meant that they're gonna die there, and then that's the end of their story. But you would still have Aragorn's story. You would still have Eowyn's
Merry and
story.
Pippin.
You know, Merry and Pippin.
Yeah.
You know, a million other characters in the story that aren't wrapped
Yeah.
up.
And he
Looks like
says
it's going
these
to
are
end with
fake
that
outs
reunion.
because it fades.
Because it fades to black.
Because there's a fade.
He's like,
to
that doesn't
black.
necessarily mean it ends.
Yeah. Sometimes
Yeah,
I use
that's just
a fade to
basic
black.
transition.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
it's
a
a transition.
more natural
It's editing.
transition, especially if you're going from, let's say, day to night. Oh my god,
Yeah. I guess
that would be totally jarring.
I guess like in a cliche, like in a more traditional sense, the fade to black means an ending, but loads of films do it, and it's not the end of the
Yeah, a
film.
bunch of films do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it
And
happened
it's
in...
not necessarily at the end either. It could be right in the middle.
Yeah, it just means
Yeah,
a
anyway.
transition to a different scene.
It
Two
happened
different
in
times.
Jaws. Like, right as this one guy was talking, it faded to black. Like, right in the middle of the film, so...
Yeah.
Let's see what else he's got.
Exciting, but then it keeps
That
going.
was- that was
And
a
it looks
fake
like it's
out
going to
at the
end with
ending.
them in minus tier, but then it keeps going! And there's still
Well
5
done.
more endings on top of it!
Oh my god, I'm starting to get where Cinematic Venom got his niche.
Yeah. This is giving me Vietnam flashbacks.
Yeah, oh my god.
There's so many goddamn fade outs in this film, you could confuse it for the ending of Clue.
Fade outs are bad, I guess. I'll stop you using them.
Fade out man bad.
Long fade out, man. Bad. So now he's going from, these weird arguments to a whataboutism, or how about this? Time for a weird comedy skit.
No, God, none of the skits.
Yeah, that was fine. I was wondering, like, what's wrong with that? I was still waiting for, like, the next scene to pop up to see what the joke was, and then he's like, "That's the joke." Like, wait, what?
Yeah. It's just, he's basically just boils down to the fades for him make it confusing because it seems like it's the end of the film. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone
It
else
doesn't
didn't
help either that
feel that
ending 1.2 looks a whole lot like a curtain call.
A curtain call. They've literally not seen each other for like 2 movies, 2.5 movies.
No, Dan, we
Of
can't
course
have
they're gonna have the gang gets back together again at the fucking end. Jesus Christ.
No, we can't have a tearful reunion. That's not allowed.
Like, and the thing is like Frodo still at this point until he sees Gandalf thinks Gandalf is dead. From 2.5 movies ago.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but there's too much fading.
Say what?
There's too much fading though, so it's bad.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Too much black.
The Rings players! Billy Boyd and Dominic Monaghan as Marion
These are his cousins.
Davies, it's Gimli!
Gimli is fucking ecstatic to see that he's alive.
Like they haven't seen Frodo or Sam.
And then Haldir,
like-
he's like, I think I remember you.
Viggo Mortensen as Aragorn!
One of the comments.
Rudy as Sam!
Lick
Now
my
look,
ass,
this
Mr. Frodo.
is the thing. Like, this is something that people probably don't pick up on right away. But, like, he's smiling up until the point, like, he's all cheerful until Sam walks into the room. Because then it all comes back to him of what they had been
He
through.
was a piece of shit to Sam. How dare you?
Scary Eyes as Frodo! And Sir Ian
That's
McKellen
not the
as the
same,
always
but-
enduring, always heartwarming
Just edit it
Gandalf.
however you want. Just misrepresent the scene. That's amazing. This is good film critique here. When you take the scenes and you match them out of order to match your arguments. It's wonderful.
Let him have his silly.
Fucking terrifying! Please don't show that
It's insulting to my intelligence, though. Honestly.
again!
I missed it, sorry.
Jesus, that's gonna haunt my...
Oh well, I was saying like he frowns when Sam walks in, but instead he cut that scene and he put in the scene when he sees Gandalf. Which is when he's like busted out laughing with cheer, you know?
Yeah.
So he's just willfully misrepresenting the scene to support his.
Now, for a lot
Shit
of people,
argument.
I don't like
several
that
endings
shit.
are a big complaint, but I put it pretty low on the list because, honestly, I actually do like the endings. I mean, yeah, there's too many and they fake you out too many times, but the actual endings
How do they
themselves
fake
are
you out? Like there's
you
all these
mean?
characters.
very pointed.
And so far, he's only shown to his argument one supposed fake out with Frodo. He's not shown us all these other ones where they're a fake out ending.
And kind of touching. So on the whole, I can't be that angry at them. Maybe just
Here
a little
too,
angry.
when
And a
Aragorn
little
tells the hobbits that they bow to no one. Look, this is straight out of Cinematic Venom's thing. This is where he got it. Anyways, when Aragorn tells the hobbits that they bow to no one, Merry and Pippin are like beaming smiles because of their accomplishments.
Yeah.
Sam and Frodo.
I'm not gonna lie, that scene gets to me every time.
Yeah.
It makes me. It makes
Well,
me
no,
choke
the sailing part always makes me massively depressed after. But anyways,
Yeah,
Oh,
that,
yeah.
that's sad.
Sam and Frodo, when Aragorn tells them that they bow to no one, they do not look happy. They look like ashamed. Like they don't look like they deserve it or earned it. It's true.
Yeah, well, they've been through a lot of shit.
Yeah, like they pretty much been through war for 13 months.
Yeah, and Frodo almost became Gollum in a way.
Number 9.
I lost a fucking finger.
Yeah, and that was the other thing
Yeah.
I was hoping to catch him on because I watched this last night with Return of the King. And I'm like, I bet you Frodo grows back a finger after that scene. So I watched like his left hand in every scene he was in. They fucking CGI'd it off in every scene.
Yeah.
It was that good.
Because they-
They
attention
care
to
about the film.
Peter Jackson cared.
yeah, it's that attention to detail, to continuity that makes or breaks, your suspension of disbelief, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Jackson, man, good.
Well done. Yeah, exactly.
I'm worried about the next thing.
God, number 8. Or wait,
Gimli's
are
idiot.
we on number 9? Oh no, it's going too slow.
Oh, Gimli's an idiot, guys.
Yep,
Oh,
there
no.
it is.
Comic relief
About
man bad.
Gimli.
All right, now I want to see what decisions are made that are inconsistent with his character. Let's hear it.
Moments. So, again, when making an adaptation as big as Lord of the Rings, you can't go into quite as much detail as the books can. So, a good chunk of the time, characters have to be simplified. Understandable enough. But good God, what did you do to Gimli?
Ah, yes, the dwarves that go swimming.
Dwarves aren't bright. I'm just gonna put that out there. They're not the most intelligent beings. They're like one of the strongest and like hardiest beings.
Yes.
What did they do to Gimli? They made him funny.
Yeah.
And lovable.
Aren't the dwarves like very serious though?
Like, isn't this during the drinking contest?
Yeah.
This is during the drinking contest. It's like
he
this
isn't
is
like
supposed
this all the time.
And dwarves would drink a lot of ale.
Yeah, he's not making stupid faces and giggling during the Battle of Helm's Deep.
I mean, actually, when Legolas asks him if he should get a box, he laughs. But that's before the battle had started.
Yeah, that's just banter.
Yeah.
He was simple and emotional, but still had a sense of honor and
This
dignity.
is basically kind of like, I guess you could say, him warming up to Legolas even more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he doesn't have character development. He just showed it. He just showed, you know, here's a guy that takes a lot of pride in his, what do you want to call it, like his culture, and then he comes to bring everybody into it, and everybody's been slaughtered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He basically lost his entire kinship.
Yeah.
And then he has to get over his racism because he's the only one left, I guess.
Yeah.
He's forced into it.
There is one dwarf yet in Moria who still draws breath.
But as the movies went on, he just got
The last dwarf eye.
and goofier
What do trees have to talk about except the consistency of squirrel droppings?
and goofier. He went from being his own unique.
Yeah, well, he's literally.
He was drunk, though.
Yeah, he was drunk. He's literally the comic relief in this, but this isn't like. These aren't decisions that he shouldn't be making. He's just saying, I don't like this guy's personality.
Yeah.
Essentially, is they just made him stupid.
And he just made one silly comment about the trees. Well, it wasn't really a goofy thing. It was just like silly trees.
Yeah, I missed that
That's
part.
an idiotic moment, apparently.
I was reading the chat. We actually got a lively chat tonight.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on, and I'm having to jump back and forth to like read it, and pause. So maybe one of you guys can pause.
Flavor of badass and just silly
I'm reading
comic
the chat
relief.
too.
You could have picked a better spot. I cannot jump the distance.
I'm looking at Connor's comment.
This
it
is
says,
literally
I
a
don't know if Critic
payoff.
is intentionally disingenuous or too comedy focused.
What's that?
Connor, he posted like in the comments saying, I don't know if Critic is intentionally disingenuous or too comedy focused. Really retarded comedy.
Yeah, well, this
He's
isn't
comedy
even like.
focused.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like the skits are, but this isn't even like comedy. Like this isn't like a bit. This is him trying to say, you know, like this is objectively inconsistent with how this character should be. And it's like this is literally when he asked him to, like he's even showing it there that this is a payoff to an earlier setup in the film that he's he was too prideful in the first film. In the second one, he's a little bit more humble where, he's willing to let his basically best friend Aragorn, him and Legolas are like his best friends. He let Aragorn toss him.
Yeah, and he's like, don't tell the elf because he knows that Legolas will probably
and
laugh at him.
And that makes us chuckle just before they get into a 2-on-200 fight, right?
Yeah.
Even he seemed to realize that his whole race merely existed to get a chuckle out of the real heroes.
It's true you don't see many.
How is he not a real hero?
Wait a minute. Yeah, why is he not what?
What the fuck?
How did he openly...
He's literally one of the Fellowship.
Exactly, and like, how does he openly acknowledge that he's there just to make the real heroes laugh?
Oh, because apparently he's gonna mention about the female dwarves being mistaken for men in this scene, I'm guessing.
I mean, is Legolas not a
Right,
real
some
hero
bitches
either?
are hairy. Apparently not.
Yeah, I mean that's just, exposition of the lore, and it's funny.
Yeah.
And it's executed very well, I would say.
And
Makes
in
me
fact,
laugh.
they're
Yeah.
often mistaken for dwarf men. And this in turn has given rise to the belief that there are no dwarf women, and that dwarfs just spring out of holes in the ground.
Yeah, he's talking about the lore and the culture behind his people. And basically,
and clearly he's probably turning. It seems like he's also turning it up a little bit to
yeah.
for comedic effect.
Yeah, well, he wants to make the young pretty lady laugh. I mean, we all try.
Yeah.
We all do
Just-
that.
It's just lightening the mood. But apparently
Yeah,
that's an
exactly.
idiotic, goofy thing to do.
Yeah. Oh, telling a joke to someone when
That
they're-
makes you an idiot.
is bad. Yeah.
Makes you gay.
No, it makes you misogynist because you're making a woman laugh.
Yeah,
Oh
women
my
are so
God.
weak-minded. They'll laugh at your joke.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The assumption alone is just sexist.
Don't
Sexism.
believe me? Just watch this scene and tell me if the
Sexism
punchline music
indeed.
doesn't write itself.
God. Yeah, he's too small for a horse. He's supposed to be riding a pony. That's,
Yeah. Exactly.
He can't ride a
You
horse.
should be riding one of those like miniature ponies.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they wrote.
Yeah. Funny enough. In
Oh
the
yeah,
previous,
nobody laughs there. So
Yeah.
disingenuous.
In the previous
It's ironic.
what was it in his previous I guess point when he showed the hobbits returning to the Shire, they're riding comfortably on the smaller
Yeah, well,
ponies as opposed to
he's showing it
regular sized
now.
horses.
He's showing a dwarf on a
Yeah.
pony. Clearly different than
Yeah, but
those
it's-
big ass
it's like-
horses.
Well, let's listen because he might think he might be.
Again, I'm no quartermaster or running any sort of
Brothel.
stable or whatever. Stable. But considering where they were with like full-grown humans, I don't exactly expect that society would have dwarf-friendly transportation.
Well, why would
You know.
dwarves who live in mines need horses?
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, it makes sense. But no, it's stupid.
That we would have to wait for a prequel to actually get a dignified dwarf character. But until that time, we only had Gimli as the dignified representation of the dwarf.
Salted pork.
I like this part. When look at his face right now.
Face.
Yeah.
He is so
Fuck him for
overjoyed.
being hungry.
It's so adorable.
How dare he have an appetite?
Salted pork.
How dare they have just done like a 2-day battle and not eaten anything?
Yeah.
Stop being
What can
hungry,
they
you.
eat?
Stop being hungry, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Fucking goofy fucking dwarf. Stop it.
Silly dwarf. Food is for dignified people.
Food is for hobbits.
Be a dignified dwarf.
Yeah.
Doug is kind of racist against this.
Exactly.
He's gonna have all the little people after him. Cancel Nostalgia
Right.
Critic.
Right.
Hashtag cancel Doug.
Well, I mean,
Thank
people
God he
tried
had his
canceling
badass
him
moments.
earlier.
Oh, but he says he's a badass. Just now.
Oh yeah.
But
In there too, because if not, I think this would be Middle Earth's interpretation of dwarf blackface.
It's a little
What?
what?
Dwarf blackface.
What does that even mean?
Yeah.
Dwarves aren't real. Do I have to explain this? Like there is no Moria. This wasn't based on an actual mine in a mountain.
Yeah. After Lord of the Rings were made today, the dwarf population would be calling it to cancel Peter Jackson.
I mean, that's the whole thing about this is like the beginning of it's supposed to be stories that passed in the legend, that passed in the myth. So, technically, you were supposed to pretend like this was actually true, but the operative word there is pretend. It didn't actually exist.
Yeah.
You're supposed to just submerge yourself in it as if
Fantasy.
the world is real.
Yeah, it's a fantasy. Fiction.
Tight across the chest.
Oh, I love that part.
Salted pork.
And like the thing is like,
It's genuinely funny. I love that part.
oh yeah. I laugh every single time. Just look at his face; he's overjoyed. That salted pork. I actually forgot my point because I was so focused on his eyes there.
It lost its dwarf eyes.
Exactly.
I mean,
yeah,
I'd be
and, like-
excited for salted pork if I was just like
Well,
going
yeah,
through and looking
that's
for
the thing.
people and stuff.
Is they fought for, I think it was a couple days. When they got
Yeah.
locked in the thing and all that, so like they went without food for a couple days. The other thing is like humor is completely subjective, but it doesn't prove that this character has comedic bits that he's an idiot.
Yeah.
And
If he did something like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something that would be like inconsistent with his character as far as his intelligence is concerned in the things that he knows. Like if he, I don't know, like dropped his axe on his toe and he cut a toe off, and maybe because he should be able to handle his axe.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, that'd
like,
be
like
fucking
humor.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the next point.
Oh no.
Like Jar Jar humor.
Yeah, well, that's what Cinematic Venom said, wasn't it?
Did he? It's been, what, like 5
Oh yeah,
months since we watched that
Cinematic Venom said, yeah, that he's the Jar
Basically,
Jar
Gimli
Binks.
is the Jar Jar Binks
So
of
I can see
the
where
theory.
he got that.
Fuck,
line.
he did say
Dude,
that.
I
didn't
don't-
he?
I don't
He did.
think-
Jesus.
I really don't think that he watched those movies. I think he watched this.
He watched
saw-
Nostalgia Critic's
He probably
video.
just,
No, seriously,
yeah,
I think
the dude probably went on YouTube and was like, stupid shit in Lord of the Rings. Just watched like the 2 videos that are made about it, you know?
Yep,
Yeah.
and
He
then
probably also watched CinemaSins' videos about it as well.
Oh my god.
well, I'm pretty sure that's what he did. Is he watched this video and maybe another one, took all of the arguments. I don't think he took CinemaSins because he doesn't say any of that stuff. And then he's just like, yeah, I'm going to take these arguments, I'm going to find all the clips, I'm going to stretch it out, I'm going to put a bunch of gay jokes in it, and that'll be my video for an hour.
Yeah.
Why is he,
Number eight.
like, is that, like, supposed to be something from the movie? Am I supposed to know?
No, it's him.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. What the fuck
No,
is that
I know
music?
it's him, but is that supposed to be a parody of one of the songs or something? I don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah,
It sounds like,
because he's funny.
oh, okay. We watch it so you don't have to.
Laugh,
Giving
Dad.
me a headache.
Legolas's perfect moments.
Number 8.
Is Legolas perfect? Oh, moments. Okay.
If one character can be too flawed, then another.
So,
He's-
so like his on-screen reference was the elephant. Yeah.
That'd be one of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Or
far.
starting one.
And if I were to, try to justify that scene, other than Peter Jackson just wanted a really cool scene of someone taking out an elephant, well, we already had that scene because Éomer kills an elephant with his spear. But
Yeah.
so it's not unrealistic that a man could take down an elephant, maybe climbing up the arrows. But then again, Legolas has been alive for thousands of years, fighting God
He's
knows
probably
what.
learned a thing or two.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
clearly he knows a thing or two.
And doesn't it
Elves are
take
supposed to be
like
very like agile, aren't they? Like they
Yeah,
can.
Yes,
he's
they are.
fast, and he's not strong, and he's smart. Like that's what the elves were. Is they were intelligent beings.
Yeah.
Legolas is clearly the most agile of them.
Yeah, doesn't it take
Yeah.
like I'm trying to remember the scene. Doesn't it take like a bunch of arrows to kill that elephant?
It takes like 3,
Well,
I
yeah,
think.
there is a scene where the Rohirrim are shooting arrows and throwing spears at an elephant, and it's maybe 100 or hundreds of them that they had to shoot at him.
Yeah. I guess Nostalgia Critic's gonna call like Legolas like a Gary Stew or something.
Please don't. And then here, I know what this scene is. He's gonna grab his arrow, stick it in this orc's neck, and then pull back and shoot it into another one.
Yeah, it's fucking.
Which-
That's just smart. That's
Yeah,
resourceful.
I was gonna say that would technically work.
It's fucking cool.
I would.
can be too
See,
perfect.
boom,
Again,
stab.
Legolas started out as a very
He's too
precise.
perfect.
And you know, there are arrows. I mean, arrows are sharp. They're meant to pierce through bodies, so it wouldn't be inconsistent. And Legolas points out at the beginning of Helm's Deep, their weak spots are around their neck and under the arm. So it's a little bit.
because that's where the armor is open.
Yeah, that's where their armor isn't me. And like some of the orcs, well, I saw one of the commanders had chainmail under his arm, but most of them were bare. And like a lot of them didn't even have chest wear. Like a lot of the berserkers that first come up the ladder, they just have helmets on.
I mean, that's also
advanced.
it's also a point in like I don't mean to be like anime over here, but they bring it up in
All right,
Attack on
shut up,
Titan,
weeb.
like they bring it up like the armor in certain spots, like are open spots for them to be attacked at. So I'm sorry, Dan.
I don't want to hear about your Chinese
Thing
bullshit.
It's
is,
not
Dan.
Chinese.
Just
Thing is, Dan, you're also a weeb because you instantly knew what that was.
no, she said anime. Oh, you mean because I know what anime is?
Wait, she said
Attack on Titan.
She said Attack on Titan. She didn't say
Yeah,
anime.
I didn't know what that was until she said, I don't want to get all anime over here. And that's when I said, shut up, weeb.
Okay.
Dan just hates women.
I do
And
admit,
anime.
I do like anime. I love King of the Hill.
Yeah, you fucking weed.
King of the Hill is objectively my
King of the
favorite
Hill.
anime. It was made in Korea, so it's anime, I think.
my favorite anime is Cory in the House.
I don't know.
Hero in the first movie. But as the film went on, you started to wonder why he couldn't just fight this war himself.
It's the
because
same.
that's fucking
Okay, this is
impossible.
where Cinematic Venom got that line too. He watched this video. Was like, we'll just copy his homework and I'll make it look different.
The meme.
Yeah.
Honestly, I swear to God, if Nostalgia Critic says that they're gay at the end of the
Oh, he will.
like we literally see elves
Gay?
die, right? They're not invincible. Legolas could die by you know 1,000 shots of arrow. Well, not 1,000, like 100 shot of arrows. Like if they just unleashed a volley on him, he'd be dead.
Yeah, exactly.
And
this
he
son of a
literally
bitch.
wears light armor. Like he doesn't even
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
He just wears like cloth armor and that's it. It's not
Well,
like
everyone's
he's
doing their
Iron
best to
Man.
fight off soldiers on ground. Yeah, Aragorn's like, hey Legolas, would you mind bringing down a 5-story elephant? Come
was
on, you can do that in your
warning
pointy-eared sleep. But the bizarre thing is, he can! Without even batting an eye! Is there even a bead of sweat on his forehead?
It was good up until he slid down the thing's neck. Then I'm like, okay, that's enough of that.
His trunk.
Yeah,
Are they gonna
I
bring
said
up, like,
neck.
the,
I meant trunk. His nose.
Remember when he slides
nose
down
bad.
the stairs
Oh my
in the
God.
shield?
Long nose bad. Anyways, go on.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said, remember when he slid down the stairs on the shield?
Yeah, that was
Oh yeah,
epic.
yeah, yeah.
He did
Surfing
that.
that shit.
And then he was like jumping on the hobbits' heads.
Which
in the
there's
Hobbit
people
film.
now.
Dude, clearly
That can do that.
Legolas is just from my state of California. You know, he's shreds the waves from time to time.
You know he's a skater, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's too perfect. So let's see what else he's got.
What is this
Why is
music?
it there was even still a
I
struggle
know, I
in
was
Helm's
wondering the same shit.
Deep? At first it looks like all the humans are gonna have to fight, but then, look, they suddenly get an army of giant
An army, there's like 300. And
Hey man,
also,
that's all the Spartans needed.
well, I was gonna say there's it's kind of reminiscent of that because there's only 300 men as well. It's 300, well,
Yeah.
basically 600 at this point to 10,000 Uruk-hai in a fortress. I mean, they're in a fortified position, but we all know how that plays out.
Yeah.
So they basically lose
Yeah,
until
yeah.
the very last moment.
dinosaur elephant
Yep.
killers.
They
This
should
battle
have
should be
put
over in
all the
10 minutes.
trebuchets on the outside of the walls like they did in Game of Thrones. They would have had a better
Yeah, put
time.
everything outside the wall.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say these elves are exterminated too. They're not a single one
Yeah, they all fucking
survived.
die.
Even Haldir.
Yeah.
Which I actually have
Haldir.
criticism for that, which we will get to at the end of this. But Haldir is one of my criticisms, believe it or not.
Look at the scene from earlier. Their fighting
No,
skills seem too
I
good
can
to
think
be
about it
true.
is like when
Okay.
EFAP was doing the how dear thing. The greatest elf to ever live, how dear.
Wow, look at how good they are. They shot an arrow.
Oh, we knew they would come at us and
Is it
descend.
racist to say all
They
elves look alike?
all have a formation strike, just like an army would.
Yep. She just called the elves black people.
From left to right, resulting in this cool-ass shot. Everything is coming up hell. But even with all these badasses on their side at Helm's Deep, even then Legolas has to show off by going shield surfing. I'm sure that was essential to taking out those 5 guys you could have just as easily killed walking down the stairs.
But did it work though?
Isn't he saving Gimli here? Isn't this when Gimli jumps on the pikes? Well, he almost jumps on a pike.
I think so.
Yeah, because they're clearly charging in through
Yeah, I
where it
think so.
just blew up, right? They're all charging in. Gimli's the first one that jumps into him, and I don't know why he does that, because he's like on his back in a puddle at that point, and then Aragorn unleashes the volley, right? And then I think he does this, where he slides down.
In fact, I'm surprised Legolas didn't just end this whole war in one foul swoop.
You already said
He's so
that.
freaking
It's
perfect.
stupid.
I'm
You
sure
already
he
said
could
that.
do it.
Legolas, a great evil is
Oh, is this where
He's gotta bring the
Cinematic
point up again.
Venom got his skits? At least this guy has the fucking decency to put in a green screen instead of his living room and his
Yeah,
friend's
or-
living room and every
or-
scene with
Hey,
holes in
to
the
be
wall. and
fair,
shit.
Cinematic Venom went on location.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, you're
He's
right.
just like
This is
Peter
all
Jackson.
CGI. This is just like
Yeah.
The Hobbit, and then Cinematic Venom is like the Lord of the Rings. I see.
Yeah. Cinematic
Yeah.
Venom is just like Peter Jackson, he's filming on location.
You're just saying that because you love Peter Jackson.
Oh, who doesn't?
Fear not, my
Oh, God,
flawed
it's
mortal friend. I shall handle this.
At least this video wasn't fucking. How long was his video? An hour?
I got a
Yeah.
question.
An hour 15, I think.
Yeah, now.
Why does Legolas have tits?
Man, this is the stage performance. You know, theater things can get mixed around.
Be respectful.
Yeah,
Legolas is trans, don't you know?
Legolas's stand-in was a woman. Like, he's sick today. Like,
He's a
I'm
male to
bringing a
female
stand-in.
trans.
It's that chick from the Disney Channel.
Like a motherfucking mother.
Okay.
Well, that's just stupid.
Legolas, you're too.
Yeah.
If you're gonna make a skit about him like doing the shit, at least involve the ring. Like you can't just fucking shoot the tower and have it blow up.
Oh, I think
I
Obviously,
think he
you
did
destroy
put the
damn
ring on the.
Yeah,
put
that's
the
what I
ring
did.
on the arrow, but then he shot it in the eye.
But then
Like
that's
you're
what I'm
giving
saying.
him
Like
the
he shot it
ring.
at the eye.
There you go. I'll deliver it straight to you. It's like, no, it needs to go in the volcano.
I
Clearly
legitimately
someone
didn't see
else
the ring on
wants
the
the
arrow.
film.
Then everybody's like, Legolas, what the fuck did you do?
Good to be true. And that is precisely the problem.
He's too good to be true.
Now I got the
Surely comes as one.
I love that line too. Yay, we're getting through it. We're almost. Oh, we're not even halfway.
We're almost halfway there.
Yeah,
Almost halfway.
We're getting close.
Those close-up shots.
Number
Oh my
the f-
god!
What? What the fuck?
Okay, I don't
That's
think I'm gonna
exactly
say
what
gotta
anything
be
for
I
this.
shitting
got
me.
upset with.
This guy, Nostalgia Critic.
Why is it?
I thought he was an actual like critic, but a shitty one, of course. But I didn't think he was this level's bad, and this more convinces me that what's his name? His name's not even important enough to remember. The faggot from the last stream. I'm totally convinced now that he watched this and just found the clips and put together his own video for it.
Like, how is this so high up on the list, or even on the list to begin with?
Yeah, like Tom.
Close-up shots. Blech.
What's a close-up shot for, Tom?
Oh, well, it can be for many things, but mainly it's to accentuate an emotion.
There you have it.
But so it's supposed to show, like, in this scene that Gandalf is, like, really scared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he is a divine being, and he's scared shitless in this cave of rabbles of whatever it is, lesser beings.
There's a lot of emotion in the eyes alone.
Yep, and that's why they do the close-up, because you're supposed to look at their eyes. One of the things that I didn't pick up on, but in the shooting of this is off topic.
Holy shit!
But it's on topic to close-ups. When they do Galadriel, they had such an attention to detail that they wanted to make her lighting in her eyes different, because she's supposed to be like the highest being of everything, right?
Yeah.
So what they did was, instead of like the standard lighting, they brought in white Christmas lights and put them all over these racks, and then held that up as her lighting. That way the lighting in her eyes was all like sparkly and different.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, nice. It's just like one of the, it's subtle, and it just shows the amount of care that was put into it, Yeah. Post all this other shit.
But close-ups are gay and stupid, so.
Close-up man bad.
I've mentioned this before, how a lot of movies and shows back then felt they needed to get.
Oh my god! Some of these are introductions. Like this, Lurtz. This is the first time you ever see this hideous monster of an orc, right?
Yeah.
And he is fucking terrifying.
Is a lot of shit. Yeah. Was that the orc that Cinematic Venom thought should be the main antagonist?
Yes, that should have been.
I think so.
Imagine if Darth Vader had a close up.
Yeah.
Who would do that?
Oh, an idiot.
You guys know that George Lucas helped on these with the special effects. Like, he helped
really
Jackson with the technology and stuff like that. Like, because it was all brand new then, right?
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty fucking amazing.
Wide-angle close-up shots. This would be fine if the idea was to create an uncomfortable scenario, but for a while, it seems like a lot of directors did it just to be different and artsy. And here...
it's just a close-up.
It's just to be different and artsy.
Oh, it's so close-ups are so pretentious.
Oh my god, that artsy fartsy close-up.
says the pretentious film critic.
Here, it's no exception. While this decision did tone down big time in the other...
These are like some of the most like this is a critical moment in the entire story. What, you want it shot from the fucking next room over?
Yeah.
Like what's he doing? Why is Gollum dancing?
I would say the reason why it's probably
he's
more
also
so done
holding
in the
something
first
very.
film.
What's that?
I was gonna say the reason why I think it's more so done in the first film is, like, say you haven't read the books and you just like watch the film, you see Gandalf like close up, you're like, oh my god, this is like, apparently this ring is super powerful, super scary, and it scares even like this wizard who's supposed to be all grand and everything. Mm-hmm. So it gives you that seriousness. It's not like, oh, it's artsy.
Yeah.
No, it's just to be artsy.
Yeah, I doubt people were in the cinemas watching it going, a close-up. Fucking pretentious, artsy filmmaker here.
That's what Peter Jackson was known for artsy films.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that zombie film with the lawnmower.
I actually love that film.
That's good, right? I've never seen anything else that he's done. So when Cinematic Venom was like, everybody only liked this movie because it's Peter Jackson, I was like, nobody even knew. Like, that wasn't a household name then. Nobody knew who the fuck he was. Nobody even knew what the fuck Lord of the Rings was. Well, not nobody, but like a lot of people, like normies, they didn't have any fucking idea.
Oh yeah, they didn't know who Peter Jackson was.
I've seen more of his films after he did Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. I only know about the films he did before Lord of the Rings because of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one you just mentioned about the zombies and lawnmower. Yeah, it's like this comedy zombie movie, and it's one of the goriest, probably the goriest, like ultra-violent, like films I've ever seen.
But like that's probably like one, and then like after that, after Lord of the Rings, he raised to like prominence.
Yeah. They mentioned it became a household name.
Yeah.
But then he started making shit films after Lord of the Rings, unfortunately. So.
I like this King Kong.
Also the best of. Yeah, I like King Kong too.
That's a pretty good one.
Oh yeah, I forgot about King Kong. Yeah, that's alright.
Here, it's no exception. While this decision did tone down big time in the other two movies, and thank God for that, we had to put up with quite a lot of it in Fellowship of the Ring. And don't get me wrong, sometimes it's called for, like this scene where Frodo's about to put the ring on.
What? Wait, but that's stupid. They were all filmed at the same time.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Ring on it.
It annoys me when people forget that to criticize them like separately. Like, oh well, they did things they did things differently next time around. It's like, no, they did it all at the same time.
Which, by the way, might not be the best name for a place like.
What, the Prance and Pony was? What's wrong with the? Is that gay? Is that is that the joke?
I mean, to be fair, if my homies were like, "Yo, let's go to this place called the Prance and Pony," I'm gonna be like, "Nah, dude,
is that a gay bar or what?" I'm not into
having that.
no, thank you.
No,
thank you, sir.
It's not set in our timeline, you know.
Yeah.
It's a gay furry bar.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe gays don't even exist in the Lord of the Rings.
Gays don't exist? What?
Well, have you seen Sam and Frodo?
I was about to say.
Yeah, that's true.
And Legolas?
Yeah, look at him. He's practically a woman.
Yes.
I look at the atmosphere and I feel more the decaying mule.
He's non-binary.
But like I said, here it's supposed to be a little off and uncomfortable, so the close-ups work. But come on, when Bilbo is just talking normally, do we really need to be this?
Yes.
Oh my god.
The tone completely changes in his voice, and it needs to change in his face too. Where he's just drunk, fucking off, insulting everybody, you know, and laughing about it, and then he's like, you know, he like gets this weird, ominous tone, and he's talking about there's many things he needs to do, and he disappears. Like that's calls for it.
Look at his face. Do you think this is a normal look?
Yeah, that's him just being casual. That's him like on a Friday night when he's drinking with his buddies.
Yeah, that's how he sleeps.
At the Prance and Pony.
He's just like, have you guys heard of the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
Right.
Close. Even when Gandalf is saying goodbye, look at that. You can count the.
Yeah, Gandalf is big. That's what that scene represents. If Gandalf put his head...
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
There's a POV from Frodo.
Yeah, which is... You don't get many of those, but that's one of them.
Yeah.
Wrinkles under his eyeballs. How would you...
We can see up his nostrils. This is starting to sound a little bit familiar. Just copy the homework and make it look just a little bit different. Except inaccurate.
Like it if I filmed conversations like this.
Equally inaccurate. Hey, Malcolm,
You don't have a face that people want to close up to.
No.
Look at him. I'm convinced this guy's a lizard person.
Jesus.
Absolutely convinced.
Do you hear they might be getting a new judge for American Idol?
Nah, lizards have nicer skin.
That's definitely the same as, what's he say? I don't know, something about hiding the ring before he gets killed, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, I heard they might be getting a new host too.
Oh, really? You mean they're getting rid of what's his name?
Yeah, what is that guy's name again?
They didn't have a casual conversation.
Yeah, it was about the ring.
Is it serious? Is he safe?
I know we're supposed to feel close.
Oh, God.
Oh, it's funny. Don't you get it?
No.
No, I don't either. It's very poorly edited.
Close to the characters, but God, we don't.
Who's echoing? It sounds like it's the voice of God now, and I don't like it. This is not my God, damn it!
Need to be this close.
Is it secret? Is it safe?
Yeah, I like that.
What's wrong with that? Oh, just move on.
Yeah.
Number 6.
On to the next.
Don't substantiate your point. Just, you know, make fun of it and move on. No wonder Cinematic Venom thinks he's a good critic.
It was an intense moment. Yes. But I think it's the best use of the close-up.
Denethor. Just
Okay.
Denethor.
I mean, he's unlikable, but that's his character. He's the guy that you love to hate.
No,
right?
Apparently he was unintentionally. They made it that it was an accident that he was unlikable.
Wasn't he like very different from the books?
Yeah, but he said he wasn't gonna reference the adaptation aspects. All right, let's hear what he's got.
if there's any character I think was more over the top, simple.
You know what the worst, the most unbearable scenes to watch are? Like, the most
when he's eating the tomatoes.
horrific fucking scenes that like make me like want to like run away screaming is when he eats the tomatoes.
Yeah.
Simplified in these movies is this one. And I know a lot of you may disagree, but I got some serious issues with this guy. Everyone describes him as a Shakespearean villain, being very complex and very sympathetic.
Oh, do they? I've never heard that. Never have I ever heard him described as a Shakespearean villain that's complex and sympathetic. First of all,
I wonder who he talks to.
He's not. Yeah, exactly. Like he's not. If like I want to say, I'm trying to figure out if he means sympathetic, where he's a relatable character, or if he means that the character is sympathetic to others, which that's definitely not true. The latter.
I think it means the relatable part. Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
I mean, the only sympathetic thing I can see is like, oh, he's lost his son, and it's probably driven him mad.
No,
like that's probably about it.
Yeah, well, maybe, but it's like he like hates his other son, like with a deep
that's
burning
the thing,
passion.
Like, oh.
He sends him off to his death. It's not that relatable. I don't remember the last time somebody disappointed me. I was like, you know what? Just walk into the ocean and don't stop.
Well, I'm glad you guys saw that, but for me, I just saw a crazy asshole. The whole time.
Yeah, that's his character. He's, he is the, what's the word? He's like the counterpoint to Theoden, where Theoden is a fair, honorable king. Collected. Yeah, and this man is selfish, short-sighted, prideful. You know what I mean? Like, he is just the opposite of the other kingdom. And it shows during the battle of, Gondor, how much differently that battle went in a similar circumstance opposed to Theoden's fight in, like, Battle of Helm's Deep. You know what I mean?
No, he's also somewhat power
this dude
hungry.
is just a cunt.
It's so bad. All right, I'll give you guys one of my criticisms. Maybe this was brought up before. But, like, during the fight, nobody told the civilians to like take low ground or take cover before the fight of Gondor. So when the catapults are going off, the people are like out standing on the balconies and stuff. They're getting hit.
That's not very smart.
Oh yeah, when the orcs,
but it's like
when the orcs come in, there are people being like killed and stuff. There's like actual civilians who are like dying in the streets.
Yeah, there was literally a woman and her baby in the streets when the orcs were running through, and it's like that's the contrast between Denethor and Theoden. Is Theoden took his people and marched them into the cover into caves, like hidden caves where they would be protected. Denethor's stance was, you all need to flee, and even when he's watching the battle go on, he says something like, why would they stand and fight? They just need to hurry up and end it, or something along those lines.
Yeah. But isn't like Denethor and Boromir like more power hungry because they don't want to give up the throne for Aragorn?
Yeah, he basically says it's his throne and he will not bow to a ranger. Yeah. But he also says, I think I have it in my notes. I'll look here after we're done. But like he says something about go and fly now, and die in whatever way seems fit to you, or something along those lines. So, I mean, that kind of debunks the whole fly you fools and the eagles and all that. Like, fly just meant to flee. Unless
flies like piss off.
Unless these people meant. Unless Denethor meant that they should go find an eagle and fly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
No, but this point, I think, so far this point is the most, not even infuriating, but just, what the fuck is wrong with you? Because literally giving this guy characteristics, assuming they're characteristics that fans attribute to him, and it's like literally, and he's like, oh, I just think he's a crazy asshole. I'm like, you realize every single fucking person thinks this guy's just a crazy asshole.
Yeah, it's not an unpopular opinion, you know.
Like his one side died, and he doesn't care about the other one. Like,
no, he literally said, "I wish you would have died instead." Well, he didn't say He didn't literally said that. He literally said, "Yes, I wish that." But still, he's basically, it's like, I would have preferred my second son have died and my first son be here because I don't love you.
Exactly.
Yep.
He's so relatable.
He seems to have just two settings: extreme jerk or extreme nutball. Yeah.
Can jerks not be crazy? Can crazy people not be a jerk? Yeah, those are clearly contradictions.
Yeah, those things are not mutually exclusive, friend.
Jeez.
When he's not frowning or slobbering or shaking his head screaming, that leaves very...
You're not supposed to feel sorry for him.
He acts like these aren't important moments. When he's not frowning, you mean when he's talking to his son. When he's not slobbering, you mean when people are literally sent to be massacred. When he's just screaming around. When he's telling his soldiers to flee for their lives. No, they're not important moments. He's just a crazy jerk.
Fuck him.
Crazy asshole.
Very little room to actually feel sorry for him. Which I'm told is the
You're not supposed
intention
to
they were
feel
going
sorry for him.
You will not take my son from me! The light has ended! Gondor is mine!
Yeah, you're supposed to hate this guy. That's what the writing is trying to tell you.
Did he just say the opposite?
It looks like there was...
That he was sympathetic.
Yeah, I think critic said, oh, it's trying to make you feel sorry for him. It's like, no, it's not.
Well,
no, I don't see how any of this is feeling sorry for him at all. He seems crazy.
Crazy asshole.
If you can't commit to a point, just take both points, and then you're right, and that's how that works.
I don't see how this is like a dumb moment at all.
Yeah, just his character is one of the dumb moments. However that works.
Supposed to be
dumbest moments. Denethor.
Legolas. Gimli. He might as well have just said the dumbest character.
Oh my god! I just realized that three of the things that took up this list were characters.
Yeah. Well, probably more to come, I'm sure.
So far.
A real tragic element to him. Like, he used to be a dignified steward and has gone mad with power. But there's just...
Didn't he always hate Faramir?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm pretty... Probably.
Well, I mean, he called him an exile,
I believe so.
and he didn't respect him, so...
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's like a deleted scene where you see more of like the relationship between the brothers and Denethor.
Yeah.
No, that's just in the extended edition. It's good.
Oh, okay.
Really well done.
I suppose, he wasn't as crazy, but I don't know if he was dignified.
No, he was.
He was still an asshole to his son.
He was always a little bitch boy too.
Little fucking clown boy.
Exactly.
Crazy asshole clown boy. like a little clown boy.
Excellent.
Dignity you can see in this guy. And I know the idea is that he's supposed to have lost all his honor, but you're supposed to give some idea that there was some honor there to begin with. And you don't really get that. The only time the guy actually had sympathy from you was when he found out about Boromir's death. And, oddly enough, when Pippin is offering his services.
Until my lord release me, or death.
Yeah, that's probably about it.
Nor fail to reward.
Yeah, this was the point.
I can feel...
I wonder if he's going to include it, but his very next line is it's something along the lines of we reward fealty with love, valor with honor, disloyalty with vengeance, and then he looks at Faramir with disgust. And then he immediately sends Faramir off to his death in like the next scene.
His death.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, I can feel bad about an asshole being sad that their son is dead. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, that makes you a good person, a good character. It's like, no, it's your son. You're supposed to feel, well, if your son's a piece of shit, he dies, fuck him. But I'm not going to say I have sympathy for someone who takes on another as, like, basically an indentured servant for no ass reason, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to feel sorry for someone who is sad for one of their sons dying, but wishes death on the other.
Yeah.
Well, that's literally the contrast between Denethor and Theoden. Theoden's son died as well.
Yeah.
And he grieved in the moment. And then Gandalf I think it's Gandalf tells him that there will be a time to grieve, but it's not now. You know what I mean? And
I think it was Gandalf.
And then Theoden puts on his big boy pants and he does what he needs to do. You know, after
it's time to be a king.
After being a little stubborn at first, but he was mostly looking out for the welfare of his people. Like, he didn't want to risk open war. He didn't want to, have his people needlessly slain if he didn't need to get involved. But that's understandable.
That which is given.
He does actually seem thankful and somewhat kind in this brief moment. And I'm not saying we need a ton of...
Oh, you're echoing again. I only want to hear his voice once.
None of that, but we just need more than what we got. But no, we need obvious symbolism to show that the decision makers in their ivory towers don't understand the fragility of life.
Mist and shadow, cloud and shade.
That's not the message here.
That's not the fucking. That's not the theme. You fucking dunce.
War is bad. Don't you get it?
Guys, don't kill each other.
I really don't think he understood what was at stake.
It's amazing how he said it was obvious symbolism and then gets the symbolism wrong.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm ignorant demon knight!
Did he say that I'm ignorant demon?
I'm ignorantly benign, I think he said.
I thought he said I'm an ignorant demon. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, yeah.
At least you made one valid point.
Come on, if I wanted slurping disgustingness, I'd go watch more of Gimli. Even his death seems over the top goofy. Just when they're about to give him something close to a remorseful moment.
It's right there. This is his remorseful moment on the pyre, but it's too late.
What do they do?
Right there. He tries to say, I love you, and he screams out in pain.
What? This isn't Lord of the Rings, it's a fucking Itchy and Scratchy cartoon.
I mean, it's not, though. It's literally Lord of the Rings.
Cartoon. All I gotta
get it? Because sound effects are funny.
I guess.
Say is, if you were looking to create a sorrowful Shakespearean villain, my guess is you need a little bit more dignity.
Hey, we're halfway done.
Yeah.
Yay.
We'll be back.
What was that?
Apparently that was a goofy moment.
Yeah.
Oh, where
Tom
Gandalf's so
Jerry
pissed off he beats a guy?
Yeah, because that wasn't... Yeah, because the point of that wasn't because Gandalf was just, like, knocking him out because he's gone fucking mad.
Yeah. Well, he was gonna he was gonna get people killed.
Yeah.
And
but
probably lose that battle. I mean, if he was left in charge, they would have all died. He was like, flee for your lives.
Nah, just put Tom and Jerry sound effects on it, then it's change the context.
Yeah. That always
and I get
like
it's funny
point.
to see him get beat up. It's funny to see him get beat up because it's like his comeuppance.
I don't think it's funny, but it's satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
it's like getting his comeuppance.
You can find it funny, but it's not going for funny.
Yeah.
Let the emotional weight of this scene sink in.
Okay, well you can't say that and then put your
and
weird
then have
fucking
the sound effects.
Yeah, like this is not.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Take out the sound effects and just show the scene.
Yeah, context
If
doesn't matter.
it's so funny and to prove your point, you wouldn't need sound effects.
Hey, I can see them filming Avatar 12 from here!
Don't use rock and roll music. You're just ruining it.
Wait, what the fuck is the point of that?
He does that.
That was time for our commercial break. These are our sponsors.
Yeah, that's literally how he structures it. It's like halfway
It's fucking
through.
YouTube.
I know. But he does it in like all his videos, and I don't know why.
Do you get to pick when your ad plays, or? I don't.
No.
I don't think so. But
because sometimes his videos don't play ads. So sometimes they play at not this moment.
Fat man can burn.
Fat man.
We'll be right back after these commercial breaks on fucking YouTube.
Yeah, he clearly wants a TV show.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he had one.
Can't you imagine this 32-minute video being on cable? Like, no.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because Ralph the Movie Maker posted a video that Nostalgia Critic did a show.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Oh my god, it was so fucking bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was so cringy.
Yay, we're over halfway.
Yes.
Yay.
Okay, that's getting really old. Like, even if it was funny, like the first 2, 3, 4, 5 times,
which it wasn't.
Yeah, which it wasn't.
Yeah, which it wasn't. But by now, surely it's getting on other people's nerves too. Anyways, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was gonna ask a question, then I realized I was gonna ask a question about this video, then I realized I didn't give a shit, so I said.
Fair enough.
I'm not dead!
There's a saying that nobody ever really dies in TV. That there's always a way to.
No one's ever.
I mean,
really
Denethor fucking died.
Well, I was gonna say, like, the actors don't actually die when they're filming. They don't actually like, all right, we're gonna have to kill you. This is gonna be your greatest moment, though,
Yeah,
and you're gonna be infamous
twin
after this.
But the thing is, though, is like you're supposed to think that they're dead. I mean, falling from like a bridge that's broken and you're being dragged down, and like the two hobbits are missing. Like, how would you not think they're dead? They're not dead. Oh yeah, he survived.
All right, let's hear him out.
Bring a popular character back. Well, the same definitely can be said for Lord of the Rings movies. First, they think Gandalf is dead.
Gandalf is dead. This is not
Yes,
Gandalf
that's not the same
Grey.
Gandalf.
This is a different person.
This is a new being.
It's Gandalf the White.
With
It's the
That
Gandalf's
is Gandalf the bigot.
Gandalf the White Supremacist.
This is the Grand Wizard.
This is the Grand Wizard.
All he just needs.
Then they think Mary.
All he just needs is a hood. I mean, completely.
Yeah.
Well, actually, he gets a hood when he's riding.
He does.
At the very end.
He does, yeah. These are the true themes of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, no wonder everybody says that this is racist.
Yeah.
It's like in Scary Movie 3 when the guy like puts on the hood and all the black people are like, what the fuck?
Did we think Merry and Pippin died?
No, but the characters did.
It's hard to say, honestly.
Oh, the same definitely can be said for Lord of the Rings.
I guess if it's about the horse, then yeah, probably.
First, they think Gandalf is dead. Then they think Merry and Pippin are dead. Then they think Aragorn is dead.
Well, see, that's the thing, is characters do die. Sean Bean died. Well, not Sean Bean, but Boromir died. And because of that adds greater stakes when we think these characters died.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the point of killing off characters, is to add stakes to your events, so that the audience knows that these characters are not invulnerable.
Things matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and technically Gandalf the Grey did die.
Exactly. And so did Boromir, and so did, oh my god, so many. So did Theoden, so did Denethor, so did Haldir. And some of these aren't important characters, but they were characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They still
it's
impact
not just
the story.
Like Archer number 3, you know?
Yeah,
exactly.
They still impacted the story.
Yeah, Saruman died, even though he's technically a bad guy, but...
Then they think Frodo is dead.
But is he like saying that like, oh, the characters think they're dead and that's a problem?
Apparently.
No, I think he may be referring to the audience.
Yeah, he's definitely referring to the audience. And like a lot of times...
He's saying they.
I think so. Yeah,
because
like they is in the audience.
But when Frodo quote unquote dies, there's nobody there.
No, yeah.
I mean, wouldn't it be reasonable to think that this character died?
I did think that Frodo died, and I thought Sam would have to carry the ring the rest of the way. Until the orc said, you know, whatever his line is, "Get him to the tower!" You know? then I'm like, oh, okay.
Jesus.
Yeah, I love that orc. He's my favorite.
Orc number 12.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the whip
I mean,
master,
if you haven't read the book, I'm pretty sure you would be like, oh my god, this character's dead. Oh my god, this other character's dead.
Or if you're watching it after Game of Thrones.
God, I thought the ending had too many fake outs. This is like a new world record. Hell, they probably cut this Mouth of Sauron scene.
Yeah, and if there wasn't any of this, you'd probably claim that they all have plot armor. I mean, I would rather characters get hurt and not die than to just run around and never get hurt.
Like gods.
Although I do have a criticism about a character that gets hurt.
From Return of the King because it was twice that they did a Frodo death fake out.
I have a token I was bidden to show thee.
Well, that's not the same thing.
Yeah, like, this is the
because the first one is the audience. At this point, the audience knows that Frodo was alive, unless I'm remembering the movie correctly. And they're just doing that to discourage his friends or get them to do something stupid. It's not a fake out.
Yes, yes, it is to dishearten them, to basically lower their morale.
Destroy the morale.
Because morale is extremely important. Morale is extremely important before a battle. That's why we get so many great speeches before these bad battles.
This guy did a video on Sailor Moon?
Yeah.
Shut up, weeb.
I haven't seen Sailor Moon.
I fucking love Sailor Moon.
It's the shit.
Which was your favorite speech before a battle? I just want to know if you guys have one.
Theoden's
favorite speech before a battle?
Yeah.
In Lord of the Rings or in general?
Well, yeah, in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, in world history of battles, what's your favorite speech?
No, I thought he meant like in cinema.
No,
okay. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I haven't seen it in a year.
Me personally, it was Napoleon.
Yeah. I think you guys.
I kind of like this short Austrian dude who had a weird mustache.
Yeah,
that's some pretty good speeches.
Know that he suffered greatly at the hands of his host.
We've done this already.
The whole spider killing him thing.
What? They don't.
That's retarded. They don't
know that. They don't know.
That's just retarded. Jesus Christ! Shut the fuck up.
And can I point out that they made the black guy the minority of the Lord of the Rings universe? Cancel Doug. Hashtag cancel Doug.
Yeah. Cancel Doug.
It didn't fool us then. It isn't fooling us now.
Honestly, we just want you to open your gates for a moment. Legolas!
Yeah, that's right.
That still only counts as one.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh my goodness.
God. How embarrassing.
In fact, I think the only reason Boromir never came back is because Sean Bean has it in his contract that he has to die in every single role that he's in.
Oh, now where Cinematic Venom got that line. That exact line. Oh, wow.
And stay dead!
He didn't even try to change it.
Death is just a roadblock to
Sean Bean
pass.
didn't die as Martin Septim, so that's false.
Boom. Got him.
It's like they build up that no matter what, these characters are fucking invincible.
Oh, that's the part.
Look at this. How many times do they throw themselves into
I'm
an
pretty sure
army
he throws
of
the
killers
volley,
and
and
never
then he
even come
slides
out with
down.
a scratch on them? The funniest is probably this one with Aragorn and Gimli.
Wait, what's his criticisms here? I wasn't listening. I got enthralled into the visuals.
That they throw themselves into these situations where they should die when they don't get hurt or die. That was his criticism.
I think this part's maybe the weakest. But
yeah, when you look at this position, like, yeah, there's a lot of orcs, but this is a fucking narrow ass high bridge.
Yeah, they can't really get swarmed.
Yeah, they can't. Yeah. They can't get outflanked. You know,
can't get
and there is like the ones that are behind him are being attacked by the doormen, essentially.
Yeah.
The gatesmen. So.
Yeah, they're in a ironically more advantageous spot.
And these are two battle-hardened soldiers. Well, I wouldn't say soldier, but like Vigo's 86 years old. That he's been a ranger, right? I mean, not Vigo, but
I was gonna say, why'd you call him Vigo?
Vigo.
Yeah, well, that's his name.
Have you seen Viggo Mortensen in Battle?
Viggo Mortensen.
And then the same with the dwarf Gimli. Like he's a soldier. You know?
Yeah.
So, and these orcs are only 2 weeks old.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking.
Yeah, that's horrible. Our heroes are killing babies. What the fuck?
They're basically like the fruit fly. They have a very short lifespan.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can imagine they don't have much training. They're just wildly flailing, and these would be things that they would be trained to deflect and dodge.
Yeah, they just throw numbers.
And they have armor, so, you know.
That is fucking ridiculous.
I mean,
no, not really.
Not really, because they're coming at them 2 or 3 at a time because there's not much room there.
Because that's all they can do.
Because they're swinging blades around. I mean, you can't have them all.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could just have the entire line of them just tackle them and then it'd be really gay. Yeah, but.
Well, what if the orcs start pushing each other off?
Yeah, and if one of them miss swings an axe or something and hits one of their friends.
And then they just start killing each other because they're pissed off.
Yeah.
Yeah, close quarters.
They're like, dude, stop team killing.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna lose points, get booted from the game.
Friendly fucking fire, dude. Come on.
That does happen when they bring up the battering ram. They're knocking each other off. Left and right.
Yeah.
This long line of killer monsters all being taken down by 2 men. One of them half the size of the rest of them. Even in the final climax, they know they have nothing to fear. Listen to how they talk.
You know, they absolutely know that they're going to a battle that they will not win. They say it's impossible. Now this is just this part that he's going to play of Gimli saying, certainty of death. Small chance of success. What are we waiting for? It's called sarcasm. You absolute bag of water.
Oh, let's see if he plays it.
Have to give Frodo the time.
I know he will. I just have,
let him rot. Certainty of death. Small chance of success.
Okay.
What are we waiting for?
Yeah. We've done this a million times. Even if we die, we're bound to bounce right back. Hell, we have an entire army of dead people.
Oh my god.
But they don't, though.
He he set them free. They are no more. They
literally don't have that army.
Yeah. Dude, this guy didn't pay attention. He didn't watch it. He just made shit up. He's probably how old is this video? Because he said the Hobbit was still being made.
I think this must be like fucking 7 years old or something.
It's like having a cold. You're out of commission for a bit, but you come back swinging.
This video came out 5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Jeez, how embarrassing.
Stupidity does not age.
Yeah, he's probably on his phone or something when that scene came up.
The Valley of the Shadow of Death, when that valley is just the size of a thimble. That is fucking ridiculous.
He replayed his
Yeah, I was gonna say it looked pretty good.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, can't pause. What the hell? Yeah, I mean, it didn't look bad. Like, they were coming at them 2-3 at a time. I wouldn't say that's unrealistic.
Yeah.
I mean,
like
they've been killing them 1-2 at a time anyways.
Yeah, and like you said, they're two, like, incredibly skilled warriors.
Yeah. Opposed to something that's only been alive for 2 weeks.
Yeah, so.
Arwen's life is now tied to the fate of the ring.
Yeah.
Why is this dumb?
I think it needs explained because I really want someone to explain it to me because I don't know why. Why is her life tied to the ring, and why is there this sudden urge that she's dying because of something? I'm sure it's in the books or whatever, but like it's just not established in the film at all. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be like
I'll check out
the elves
chat
are supposed to be like these like bright characters that are supposed to be like resembling light and everything, and the ring could be getting powerful, so therefore like the elves are probably gonna die because of it.
It's the darkness.
Oh, I get it. What's the line? Oh, sorry, I tried to pause. I don't know why. What's the line in TFA? The darkness, the light rises to meet it, or something like that.
Oh, yes.
the darkness rises to meet it. I don't know, but it's not established well.
But shouldn't she be like getting on the boat to go with like the other elves, but she chooses to stay and be mortal?
It's very strange, like the way. I just don't know what's going on because in it, she's on her way to get on the boat. And suddenly she has a vision of foresight where she sees Aragorn, old and gray, with a child wearing the pendant, right, of the elves. And then she runs away and nobody tries to stop her or anything. And then,
they're like, my lady.
Yeah. and then she makes it to her father, who's just chilling out for whatever reason. He hasn't left yet. And she asked him what he saw, and he said, basically all he could see in her future was death if she stayed. And then she said, no, you saw a child, which it's like, I don't know how she could be.
That's kind of creepy. Yeah, I saw a child.
No,
I'd be questioning my dad.
She said you saw a child, right? And which is weird because has Arwen never considered having a child ever with Aragorn? Is this something that she's never thought of that could be in her future ever?
I think it's because it's probably been so hammered into her that she would have to leave, that she never thought of a family.
They've been together for ages, literal ages.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 86.
A lifetime.
He's been living with the elves his entire life.
Yeah.
So anyways, then after that he says, the light of Eldrion or whatever is leaving you. Your hands are cold. And she says something like, yeah, I can't go now because I'm going to die regardless. And then suddenly Elrond shows up with the sword to Aragorn later and basically tells Aragorn that Arwen's life is now tied to the fate of the ring. But I never understood why. I still don't. So, I don't know. Maybe it's in the books, and I wish my buddy would have come. But he didn't, because this would crash.
The German.
The
German, man.
Yeah.
Now, there's no doubt that Arwen's role has been expanded in the movies, and to be honest, I really don't mind. It's a bit of a sausage fest in here anyway, and...
We don't care if you mind. We don't care if you can,
Yes, I don't care
He's
that
just
you get
against
to
the
work women.
gays.
We don't mind.
When the fight has to pretend she has a sausage, so having her do more stuff, I think was a welcomed addition. But then we get this really weird nonsense.
Arwen is dying. The light of the even star is failing. As Sauron's power grows, her strength wanes.
Yeah, and why is it only in her, though? Or is it all elves? Like, I don't know. It's so confusing to me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. If you're watching this later, tell me in the chat.
How the hell did that happen? We get something about the light of brouhaha that's now somehow tied to Sauron growing because...
Someone actually mentioned it, Dan, in the chat. They said, I guess after giving up the life of Elendil, she was affected by Sauron's magic.
What magic?
The darkness.
Yeah, look at the comment.
Yeah, I read it. But what magic? Let me know.
I guess maybe by his power growing, maybe?
I don't know. It just seems so strange that it only is affecting her.
I would say it's strange too. I thought it would affect all the elves, maybe even Elrond.
Yeah. And maybe that's why they were leaving? I don't know. I just thought that they were leaving because they were abandoning the, Middle Earth and the race of men. They were just going to leave them to their fate. But I guess that's not good enough. I don't know.
Clue. It was made up for the movie, I guess, as a means to give Aragorn something else to fight for, or maybe keep her more out of the way so that their being reunited would mean more. Or I'm not sure what the intention was, but brother, does it make no sense. What is that light thing she gave up? If it makes her mortal, then how come none of the other mortal people in Middle-earth are dying?
The other thing is it actually does break in the extended edition. He does drop it, and it shatters like that, so his vision sleeping actually came to fruition. So I wondered, I always wondered about her vision of the little boy having it around his neck, and I'm like, so how's that work? Like, is it just, I don't know, it's just so strange. Maybe that's the only way. Go on.
Did he just say if not having the thing makes her mortal, why aren't the other humans dying, or the other mortals dying? It's like they're mortal.
Yeah, they're not elves.
Yeah, they will die.
Yeah, or they don't have the light thing.
Yeah, just because they're not like. Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, I don't know.
Shit.
I have no idea.
I don't know why he said that.
In fact, if it does make her mortal, then how come they were talking about how much it's gonna suck when she stays immortal in that other scene? In fact, hell, they made immortality look like such a bitch, she'd probably be welcoming death by this point. In most cases like this, you could say that it's explained in the book, but this was a new scene, and talked in very little detail about it. The more I think about it, maybe it would have been cooler if they wrote it that she went to fight with the rest of the army. She was originally filmed in the Helm's Deep battle until they edited her out. Wouldn't it be nice to give her a little bit more battle damage than a branch from a tree? Ooh, look at that scar! It shows she's tough and pushes on after battling.
Who was it?
This is such a minor point and a minor character. Why is he harping on this?
I say Arwen's not that big of a character in the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why does she need to take significant damage?
Prickly leaves! I don't know. If you're gonna expand the character, at least do it in a way that makes sense. Until then, look pretty, cry, and don't cut any hedges.
Arwen's life is now.
Yeah, I would have just cut that part out of the script and just had her just convince Elrond that she was gonna stay, right, and be with Aragorn, and for that to happen, he's gonna need the sword. And this, I mean, it still would have worked. You know what I mean? All of the events would have played out the same.
Yep.
Tied to the fate of the ring.
Yes, I don't really care much for Arwen.
I find Liz Tyler.
Her name isn't Liz, it's Liv.
Yeah.
Liv Tyler.
Yeah. I said Liz. I don't know what's wrong with my brain.
Liz Taylor.
Hey, listen.
She
I wrecked
used
a
to be.
motorcycle and I drink a lot with you guys. These things
You're
are
probably
bound
thinking
to come
about
out.
Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah,
used to be
I actually I think I was, and I'm like, wait a minute, not Liz Taylor.
Sam and Frodo's.
There it is.
God.
There it is. There it is.
Told you. Told you.
You should have
Confirmed.
Sam
and Frodo gay confirmed.
Spoiled it.
Gayness. Okay, now let me make one thing perfectly clear before anyone has a heart attack. If Sam and Frodo were actually gay in the story, I wouldn't care.
Heaven forbid men have actual relationships with other men and they're not called gay.
Yeah.
You can't have a strong friendship without being, like, without your sexuality being called into question.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens with, like, every fandom. Anytime there's a guy who's friends with another guy, they're called gay.
Yeah, oh my god.
Yeah, I want South
It'd be
Park.
cool. Maybe they'd be the first gay characters in fantasy.
That's why I don't join
Openly
a
gay,
lot of
anyway.
fandom.
But that's not what bothers me. What bothers me is that the intention was not to show the power of love. It was meant to show the power of friendship.
Which they did.
Having a friendship and...
Yeah. Although, the kiss on the forehead, come on. I would never kiss my friends on the forehead.
I don't remember that. I wouldn't either.
It's when Frodo sails off forever into elf heaven.
No.
I mean, you get put in the same situation, you don't know.
Maybe. I mean, they were basically at war for 13 months. So.
You might want to give your homeboy a bit of a peck on the forehead as a goodbye. You don't know. You might. It's not gay.
And love are two different things.
Yeah.
There's the love
Maybe put your tongue down his throat. Oh, who knows?
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Have an attraction
But it's not gay. Okay.
I want to live the rest of your life with, but there's also the love for a determined person who will always have your back and be by your side.
Yes.
And the reason that bugs me is that this relationship, while I do believe unintentionally makes them look more romantic than friendly, is that it's obvious Tolkien wanted to show the strength of friendship.
Yes.
So the thing.
What's up with these?
You cut out.
I don't get it.
But I was just gonna say, like, the hobbits are meant to represent children, and when
they're pure and
when they're pure, they're innocent, and when children form friendships, there's no sexuality there, and the bonds of friendship are extremely close, and that's what these are supposed to be. These scenes are supposed to be representing as a pure friendship. I'm not even sure the hobbits have sex, do they?
Well, they have
kids.
They have, they get married.
Yeah, but they could just be born like the Uruk-hai. They just dig them out like the fucking potatoes every year.
That's true.
They get farmed like the vegetables.
Exactly. They just dig
that
them
is
up.
true.
We don't know.
Yeah,
I never saw a hobbit girl give birth in this.
Okay.
True. You got a point there, I guess.
The continuity's there. I don't know.
For reasons of nobility and caring rather than lust or romance. Lust and romance is fine, and we see it everywhere in big epic stories. But that's not what this is about. This is about two people who care for each other as the closest of companions.
Yes.
And truth be told, there's only a few popular stories I can think of that really dive into that. You don't often see two people of the same gender who give up their life for the other just for the reason of friendship.
What?
First of all,
Go back. What did he say?
Okay.
He says you don't often
Popular
see.
stories I can think of that
Two people of
really
the same
dive
gender.
into that.
Wait,
You
let
don't
it play.
often see two people of the same gender who give up their life for the other just for the reason of friendship.
It happens all the. What do you mean?
Yeah, wasn't there that story and I guess this is anecdotal, and it's more sister and brother, but there was that little boy that got his face all bit up by that pit bull trying to save his sis.
Oh, that was recent.
Oh, the dog.
Yeah, he was like 7 and she's like 4
Oh, yeah.
or something, right?
I think he's 6.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and that's sister brother, but I could definitely see friends doing that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he just said even if it's in terms of fiction in films, he says there's rarely an instance where two people of the same gender give up their lives for the sake of a friendship. It's that's obviously wrong.
I mean, in Winter Soldier, Steve was wanting to save Bucky.
Yes. I bet some fucking crazy Marvel fangirls call them gay and ship them.
Also, I would like to point out that they're not just saving each other's lives because friendship. They're trying to save the fucking world, okay?
Yeah.
Like the apocalypse is the stakes here.
Yes.
Yeah, they're
But does he,
bigger stakes than getting your dick sucked.
But does he like expect Frodo to be like, "Oh fuck you, Sam. I'm just gonna do whatever. You can die. You can go ahead and die. I don't care."
Yeah.
Fucking go on your own, Sam. I'm not gay.
Share the load.
If it's opposite genders, fuck it, almost always hook up by the end of the story. So that's why I think it's more important
I feel like
that
this
a
is
friend.
just like one of those things where it's just like it's not manly to have a certain relationship with a friend of yours who is another man.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I'm really just questioning these dudes' security. It's like you see two friends who were close to each other, and you're just like, oh, well, they clearly must be faggots.
Yeah. Like, do you see yourself?
Can a man
with
not
your...
be friends with another man?
Yeah, I was just asking. Does he see himself like in that situation when he's friends with other guys? Is he like? Yeah. It's like he meets up with his friends. Like his friend just kind of like taps him on the shoulder, like, "Hey man," he goes, "Oh."
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, "I'm not gay."
Hey, Doug, what's up? Oh, jeez, hey.
Yeah. He's like, "You touched me. I'm gay now."
Yeah.
I have to touch you back.
I've caught the gay.
Yeah, I've caught the gay.
Yeah, it's like when people make these arguments.
6 feet apart, please.
I really just do feel like they're projecting their own insecurities onto this shit.
Yeah, it's like they really overthink it.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the thing. I think it's because it's like a masculinity thing where they're just like, oh, it's not masculine to do something like this for your friend, and it's not like this.
Oh, yeah,
so they immediately go into like, oh, it's gay.
Yeah, God fucking knows that Doug Walker is not an expert on masculinity.
Yeah, I was gonna say, cause like anecdotal, sure, but it's like me and my friends. You know, we all, to a different extent, work out. Some of us run, some of us like do boxing and shit like that. Mm. And before I left America, we would meet up at my apartment once a week to like watch, basically do what we're doing now, except we would watch it together. Watch together.
That's gay.
Oh my god.
And then, but it's like every night, even though. No, we were watching like TV shows and shit. I think the last movie we watched was Terminator 2. Nice. But it's like we would just every week we would do that. You know, I'd get home from work and I like cooking, so I'd make enough food for as many of my friends that were going to be there. And then every night, not every night, but every week when we were done doing it, we'd all give each other hugs. And everyone would go home because it's like, yeah, exactly. Apparently we're homos. But it's like, it's like we're bros, you know? Yeah. Like most of us have been friends since we were like 6, 7 years old.
Well, you know what? Maybe the Nostalgia Critic never had a friend. Did you ever consider that?
Maybe.
Huh?
Yeah, I actually didn't. Yeah. I actually didn't consider that. That's a good point, though.
That was my first impression. I'm like, he probably hired that chick and that black guy. They're probably like a couple of actors. He's like, can you pretend to be my friends?
They are, Dan. They are.
Perfect. Told you.
Yeah, bromance doesn't mean an actual romance.
No.
Yeah, that's the thing that like gets me is when like.
Well, maybe
with the Steve and Bucky because they're just like, oh, it's a bromance.
I kind of hate to point this out, but isn't Sam looking a little, chub in his pocket there? What is that? Like
that's just
is that
a crease,
banana
Dan.
in your pocket, or is that
why are you looking there, Dan?
It's just a very I
had to check. Like I was thinking, all right, if a bromance is an actual romance, surely I would be able to detect it.
Hey, if it's hobbits have big feet, so if it's true what they say about guys, if it's true what they say about guys and big feet,
consider that. I always thought they'd be like a pea pod. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If it's true,
the thing that they could barely get their fingers around, but
it's like men can't be friends with women and men can't be friends with other men, so you're fucked.
Yeah.
You gotta be alone.
Yeah. Just be alone for the rest of your life. It's better.
Frodo's gotta take it up by himself.
Be alone or get a girlfriend.
Sam's gotta wait by the entrance of the mountain, waiting for Frodo to come out.
It was played up more than a romantic one. And again, I don't think it was intentional, but it's still hard to ignore that it comes off that way. And so much of that comes from just how friggin' lame these lines are. let's just look at some of these scenes again.
Frodo was really courageous, wasn't he, Dad?
Yes, my boy. The most famousest of hobbits. And that's saying a lot.
Yeah, look at this gay guy insinuating he's gonna have a kid one day.
Yeah, he wants to adopt a kid with Frodo.
Right.
Like we see even in the first and like the third film, he talks about Rosie.
Yeah, according to Doug, this is like bad dialogue.
It's the brave.
Yeah,
I want to hear
take
more
the
about Sam.
context out of it, I'm sure, but...
It's Samwise the racist.
Samwise the gay.
Those racists are out there.
Samwise the gay.
No, Frodo's the gay because he's more feminine.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have a girlfriend at the end. When he
Yeah.
plans on
Yeah, he doesn't have
killing himself.
I'm not gonna say it.
or going off to elf heaven, whatever you guys want to call it.
Yeah.
Not far without Sam. Now, Mr. Frodo, you shouldn't make
The
fun.
idea that he
I was
can't
being
get
serious.
anyone, so he just kills himself.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much what happens. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Oh shit.
So was I.
I'm just waiting for Gollum to roll his eyes and say, "Oh Christ, just propose already!" And even the friendship/romance
Just fuck already.
doesn't always make sense. Frodo sends Sam away because he thinks he ate the last of the Lambus bread. Fair enough, he's possessed by the rings and being manipulated by Gollum, but Sam actually starts to oblige until he makes this little discovery. What exactly is he supposed to realize there?
What do you mean? What does he put? That the bread was obviously thrown off the cliff, which he already knew Smeagol had done something with it.
Like,
but the fact that he can now scoop the bread up means that he can deliver the bread to Frodo to make sure that he can finish his journey to the ring.
Mm-hmm.
It's not complicated. You just have to, instead of just reacting emotionally, just think about it.
I didn't eat it!
What does this fucking bread mean? What does it mean?
No.
But the thing is, though, is like he's like upset that Sam obliges on like not going with Frodo. Like, what does he expect Frodo to do if he does continue to join him? Like, does he think Frodo is gonna just like allow him to continue on with them anyway?
Yeah, piss off. I don't want to see you anymore. I'm not going anywhere. Okay.
And then Sam's just like, I'm still coming with you. And Frodo's like, no.
Well, also he's so like shook by it that he cries for a while, So clearly they leave him there. They don't like wait for him to stop and then they leave. Like, are you okay, buddy? No, it's like fuck you, and then he's so distraught over it they leave him and then, he's gonna trail after him.
Like, I'm pretty sure you'd be upset if you went on like a massive journey and you like almost died several times, and then like while you're almost there, your friend's like, oh, you need to go home. You can't come with us anymore.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm going to trust this other guy who I barely know. You'd be like, that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Wouldn't his return have been a lot more powerful if they didn't show this scene? If Sam just said, fuck it, he's my friend, I'm going to go and fight for him anyway. That would have been a lot more...
I think that's what happened.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's what this scene represents.
Literally what happened.
Would have been a lot more noble.
Oh my God,
but no, he had to realize that he didn't eat the bread that he realized already he didn't eat.
He knew he didn't eat the fucking bread.
No.
You piece of shit. Jesus
Wait, is his interpretation of this movie that Sam forgot he ate all of the bread?
Yes, apparently.
Yeah, he seems to think.
He forgot to eat all the bread?
It's like he gets down there, he's like, holy shit, I didn't actually eat the bread.
Yeah, Doug watching this, he thinks that Gollum accuses, Sam of eating the bread, and then Frodo's like, you ate the bread, and then Sam's like, oh no, I ate the bread. And then 5 minutes later,
clearly,
he's like, oh no, I didn't eat the bread.
Clearly, the evidence was all over his jacket, though. He would have to believe it.
Sam is such a fat
even though the crumbs were dumped all over his back.
Yeah.
But
How the fuck does that
Frodo
Some people are sleep eaters.
I mean, I don't know about you, but when I'm eating bread, the crumbs get all over my shoulder blades.
But Sam is such a fat fuck that he doesn't
and like the thing about the bread is the bread is supposed to be a full meal, so like what he just eats like 8 full meals in a row. He just forgot.
Scoffed them down.
Well, it happened with Pippin because Legolas said to him like, "If you eat this bread, it's gonna fill you up." And then Pippin's like, "Oh, I ate like 5 of them."
Right, and then Mary's like, "I had 6 or whatever."
I just
obviously
can't
doesn't really
it.
work with the hobbits.
Yeah, can't believe Doug thought that's what was happening.
Sam's like,
Like
"Oh,
I
I
said.
must have eaten it. Like, how fucking dumb would you have to be?"
So Frodo, I'm sorry I ate the bread. Oh no, wait, I didn't eat the bread.
It was down here the
really
whole
wasn't.
time.
It was in my jacket. Now it's in my ass.
I don't think it was intentional, but the more cheesy these scenes are played out, the more you can't help but think of a corny romantic novel. So you can't act surprised at the comparisons.
Frodo, no.
And I think we all know there's plenty of those.
No.
Granted, at the end, the relationship does work. Sam gets
It
married,
always
Frodo
works.
goes...
Yeah, I mean, he literally was in love with the girl in the first movie. I don't know why people were just ignoring that.
She had ribbons in her hair.
Yeah, she did.
goes on his own
I mean,
path.
Sam
and
was so nervous to even talk to her in the first film.
Yeah.
Well, that's how
And
the
then the
gays
third
act.
one, he's
They
got,
don't
like,
know
his
how to talk to
Yeah.
women.
Yeah, they don't know anything about women.
They can't relate to women, so they have a hard time.
And then the third one, he's got like so much confidence, probably from the trip, that he's just like, "I'm gonna talk to her."
He's like, "I'm."
Yeah.
And then they get married.
Motherfucker.
I'm gonna make this
Dan
bitch screw.
I am fully convinced that Sam didn't even talk to her. He just walked up to her, grabbed her, picked her up, and carried her to his bed.
Yeah, and she's
Exactly.
like,
He just went
Yeah,
up to her. She's like, "Oh my God, Sam, you're here," and he just whips it out.
Exactly. I'm back.
just flops
That big
it.
Hobbiton dick.
Just flops it onto the table.
And he says, "I'm back."
And she just doesn't question it. She's like, "Oh, okay.
All right, let's do it.
All right."
You share a connection you legitimately believe in. Just maybe
Wait, I missed this point. Hold on.
at the end, the relationship does work. Sam gets married, Frodo goes on his own path, and they do share
Frodo kills himself.
a connection
Right?
you legitimately
He goes to elf
Because
heaven.
Sam's not gay.
I forgot. It's elf heaven. It's totally different from dying.
Yep.
believe in. Just maybe you believe in it a little more than what was intended.
I can't carry it.
Wait, I believe in what? I missed it again. I'm sorry. Just tell me.
Good.
Nah, fuck
Or
it. Who
you-
cares?
But I can't.
Where'd the sound go?
Yeah, I was gonna say what happened to the sound. Can you hear it? Oh, it's back.
Oh, he
it's back.
changed to music. I see.
What a faggot.
He played I Will Always Love You.
Almost done.
We're
almost done.
Yep, we were 2/3 there.
Number 2.
Oh my God.
Sarah... Who? There is no doubt that
Oh no, what's he gonna say about Saruman?
Sarah who?
the biggest
I always got confused when I was a kid. I always got confused between Saruman and Sauron. I was like,
Sauron.
"Who the fuck is who?"
Yeah.
skew to a character came when Saruman, the only human villain you had throughout any of these movies, was completely left out of Return of the King. What the hell? He doesn't even make an appearance, a wave goodbye, or anything. He just
In the
doesn't
extended
show-
edition, he does.
Yeah, I
He
was
does. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And to be fair, in the theatrical version, it's bullshit that scene was not included.
Yeah, I can't believe
Yeah.
they took that out.
I agree.
I can't believe they took that
Christopher
out.
Lee was pissed.
Yep.
He was literally pissed about it because he's like, "Why was that? Like, there's no ending to Saruman."
I was like, he just stayed in the tower.
Yeah.
Yeah, he stood in the tower just screaming.
It's like
He's like
he has all this
Rapunzel in
power.
the
No, it's
tower.
fine. It's fine. We flooded his valley. He's not going anywhere.
He can't beat water.
Yeah.
He's a ring wraith now.
It's just so weird. Like, it wasn't even that long of a scene. It was only a few minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's essential.
And it had the most epic part where,
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Lee gets stabbed in the back, and the backstory of that is Christopher Lee has actually stabbed people in the back during the war.
Yeah.
And he had to correct, Jackson on what kind of noise someone makes, because Jackson wanted him to cry out, but what actually happens is your breath is taken away, and that's what he did.
Could you imagine?
It worked a lot.
When he watches the film and he doesn't say the scene, he like sneaks up behind Peter and stabs him in the back. And he's like,
cry out in pain.
It's like the exact same scene with like Wormtongue and Saruman. He just like jumps on his back like.
Fucking Wormtongue.
Yep.
But yeah, like I remember thinking like, what happened to Saruman, and then what happened to Wormtongue?
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, what happened to those two characters? Because you don't see them anymore.
Yeah. Well, I always wondered
and then I was
about.
like, oh, they both died.
I always wondered about the orc with elephantitis. I can't think of his name off the top of my head at the moment.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The ugly looking one.
Yeah.
The really
and then I found out years and years later in the extendeds.
Up! This is the guy that was the center of the poster in the last film. You're a major villain.
I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but yeah, it's a fucking criminal that they took him out.
Film. Yeah, I think that argument would only work if he was like front and center of the poster for the third movie, and then he's not there. It's like he was in the second movie. So
yeah, he's
right.
Second to only that giant eye thingy, and he doesn't.
It would be like it would be like if you put Luke. It would be like if you put Luke Skywalker front and center and big on that TLJ poster, and then he turned out to be, like a worthless piece of
shit.
Even get a little wave
goodbye.
And
then he's not in the third film, and you're just like, oh, I wonder what happened.
What a ripoff! Now, in one sense, you could make the argument that Sauron is really the villain, so you don't need to spend a ton of time with Saruman anyway. But there's two big problems with this. One, the excuse that they give is not to go after him. That he's too harmless now to do any real damage. Fucking what?
Well, see, I don't remember the theatrical, but he breaks his staff.
Neither do I.
So, he breaks his staff, and that's pretty much his power.
In the theatrical, because I've seen more of the theatrical than the extended, like, they show up, and you don't see Saruman. He's, like, in his tower. So, like, you don't know, like, if he has power or not. The Treebeard is just like, oh, he's locked away, we're not going to do anything, we're just going to leave him. And you just see the ball in the ground, and that's about it.
But does he break his staff?
Shit.
No, you don't see anything.
No, you don't see him at all.
Yeah, I always hated that.
It's just they arrived there.
But I didn't know that there was a better version of it either. And then when I found out, I'm like, dude, holy shit.
Like, I wondered how the ball got outside. Like, did he toss it like outside?
It made
into
no
the water?
sense. It's like
he yeeted it into the water.
Well, I just wondered if like the
just angry.
The Ents took his tower and just shook it back and forth, and then that thing just happened to roll out.
He shook it back and forth like it was one of those like question things where it's just like, will I win this?
Yeah,
and
magic
8 ball.
Magic 8 ball, yeah.
Magic 8 ball.
He's like, fuck, it doesn't work, and then just yeets it outside. And then he's like, oh fuck.
Fuck this.
Stupid thing doesn't work.
This orb.
Sauron's like, the fuck, man.
There's no power anymore.
The filth of Saruman is washing away.
Yeah, he's learned his lesson. I mean, come on. What are the chances of an
Why is his
ancient
face
evil
so
that we...
pink compared to his arms?
Maybe he puts on makeup. He's very rat-like too.
Yeah.
Very
Oh god.
rat-like. Like the worst thing you can do if you're a man with buck teeth is like draw whiskers with your facial hair to look more like a rat, especially if you have a pointy nose and a sunken face.
Maybe it's because he's so pale. He's more susceptible to getting burnt from like basic like lights in rooms, like UV lights in everything.
Shit, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Just grow a big beard. Cover that whole fucking thing up.
I mean, shit.
Just
half of
cover
my
it.
family's
Nobody wants
white.
to
I
see
haven't
that.
seen that shit.
Hardly call that a beard.
No, I mean grow a big beard.
I'll grow it, yeah.
Grow a big beard. Just cover all that mess up. The teeth.
I don't think he can.
His face. Just cover it all.
Yeah,
don't kill all the way possible.
Creeper's just ripping his beard
and
off.
biting us in the eye. That doesn't count. He's an eye. And second.
Wait, what?
Nothing. I was just saying
What are
that
the chances
Treebeard's
of
like, oh, I want to get rid of my beard, and so he just rips the limbs off his own tree.
Oh, Jesus.
An ancient evil that we don't kill all the way, possibly coming back and biting us in the eye. That doesn't count. He's an eye. And second, they had a perfectly good scene of him shot and edited already. Yeah, if you go to the extended edition, it's right there, right at the very beginning. It ties up all loose ends. The connection between him and Grimer, a final sentence.
Grimer? You mean the Chimpokemon? Grimer, I choose you.
Grimer.
Yeah. On the bottom.
Off between him and Gandalf, and yes, they don't just ignore the big evil genius who could obviously cause trouble later. He's killed off, and in a pretty cool way, I might add. Well, I'm sure he can survive that. Maybe not.
Oof.
I guess the scene was cut for time, which
normally would how he died.
Yeah, time's bullshit.
Yeah.
Cut for time.
Dan, for a film this long, you don't want to overstay your welcome. But it's
I wouldn't mind if it was added into the film.
Scene in the
movie. I think most
it's
people
so
wouldn't have
good
cared.
too because like it really shows like his persuasiveness, not necessarily like he persuades anyone, but it shows how he could use rhetoric against Theoden and stuff. It's really well done.
But it also kind of like, I guess, is almost like a take back to when he was winning against Gandalf in the first film, and then in this film he's losing to Gandalf because like Gandalf destroys his
Gandalf
staff.
has the power of white
supremacy.
Yeah, and the tower's black, so picking up those themes now. I know why everybody thinks it's a racism.
It's very phallic, very phallic shaped tower.
And it's also the biggest tower, and it's black. So what's that tell you?
I don't know. Draw your own conclusions.
Yeah, same.
Nobody's gonna be bored by the first few minutes! Really?
Yes.
Do you think anyone was gonna watch this and be like, oh, this first 2 minutes isn't grabbing me. I'm sure the next 3 hours will be more eventful. God, if it's a time issue, why didn't you shorten one of the other cajillion endings that you had? That's where people started to bitch and moan. They didn't need to know every single detail.
No, don't cut anything. Just add more. Just keep adding more and more.
Yeah, I don't care if it's 6 hours long.
Yeah. I'm still
I bet Peter was
waiting
kind of
for
upset that they had to cut it off.
I'm still waiting for the 4-hour Phantom Menace cut.
the Lucas cut.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because originally it was 4 hours, and like I just want to see how bad it was.
Gosh.
Because if he had to cut, 2 hours out, and it's still that bad, or maybe it would have been better. Who knows?
That one on after the
Yeah, probably like 2 more hours of Jar Jar Binks slipping around on shit.
Yeah.
war was over, but we did need to know what happened to one of your biggest villains in the entire film series. Of course, we always want to see the bad guy get the short end of the stick in the end, but next time, try letting us actually see it. Because that short end of the stick can impale pretty nicely.
Hey Gandalf, do you still have that 2-for-1 coupon that could get you an extra life at the pearly gates?
Sorry,
I already used it.
Christopher Lee actually did this part where he goes underwater with a stuntman.
No crime.
Oh wow.
Oh, he didn't even show it, but he goes completely under, and then they.
All right, guys, we did it. 1 decent point.
Yeah, that's fair for the theatrical.
Yeah.
And the #1 dumbest Lord of the Rings moment is...
Here we go.
Oh god.
There we go. What is it?
Those eagles that...
No!
The eagles!
Eagles plot hole, plot hole.
I was like, all right, great. There's only 4 minutes left. If I can just get through this, then I can go pee. And now I'm like, this is gonna take a while. So with that said,
I can go to sleep.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go pee real quick since it's gonna be a minute.
Right now?
Yeah, right now, because I know this is gonna take a while.
Just do it at your desk. It's fine.
Okay, hold on.
I pissed in an alley earlier today.
Ooh, calm down, you rock star.
Discord's working.
Is it? That's surprising.
Yeah, it's working now.
Yeah, it's a bit late for us to do it now.
I barely shook it off. That way Tom wouldn't be too mad that I took too long.
Nice.
All right.
All right, let's finish this. 4 minutes left. We can do it.
Could have stopped everything. Everyone in the world brings it up, and of course, so am I. Why do
Well, not everyone, just really stupid people.
these creatures of awesomeness just fly over Mount Doom and drop the ring off themselves?
Maybe because the air is a poisonous gas. You know?
And the risk of being shot down and attacked by the...
Yeah, there's also what his on-screen reference is, the fell beast.
Yeah.
It's obvious that if they wanted to win this war quickly and more logically, they would have used these damn things.
They're not. What could have used them? They're not loyal to men, elves, dwarves, anybody. They are themselves angels. They are like they are like a celestial being like Gandalf.
Yeah, they're not controlled.
Yeah, you can't just be like, hey, we're friends. Let's do this.
Peasant.
Jesus.
From the beginning. And every excuse that people throw out in terms of the movie never holds water.
Doesn't hold water.
Okay, what's the excuse, apparently? In his words.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they're eagle gods who don't want to get involved in our world affairs.
Yes.
Well, that doesn't stop them from interfering 1, 2, and all 3 times in all of this.
Wait, that's the Hobbit.
Don't bring up the Hobbit.
Yeah.
He's gonna bring up the Hobbit.
Anyways, yeah. I mean, I guess, you know, they did owe Gandalf. Gandalf is an angel. You know what I mean? He summoned them, so it's not unfair, you know, that they would do him one solid.
Well, they wouldn't be able to get very far. The evils of Mordor are just too great. Oh, I don't know. They made it to the gate. They seem to be fighting off those ring wraith things pretty good.
Yeah, they're in battle already. They're not in a fortified position. You know what I mean? They're all out in field.
Yeah.
And even if they didn't, you could have Gandalf Nightlight reflect them off like he did.
I say Gandalf should just teleport them.
Yeah, exactly.
Use the magic powers.
Yep, he should just pull a moth out of his mini moth in his pocket and just blow on it, and then the eagles come.
He's a wizard.
Exactly.
Gandalf should have force projected himself into Mount Doom with a physical ring that he gives to his twin sister that's the lava.
And then he dies.
Drops the ring in there.
Well,
and then he dies.
Well, no, not before doing some wicked Matrix moves, right?
Oh yeah, man.
I get to see.
While he's taunting.
He just
goes to
ignites
the mountain.
his white lightsaber.
He goes to the mountain with Frodo and gives him the ring, then pushes him off.
One thing I would criticize in this scene is that I guess it's fair because they had the advantage, but the orcs march out of their gates when they probably could have just did what they did in Helm's Deep, which was stay behind their gates and fire from the wall. You know what I mean? With archery, and then like
just imagine.
Yeah, their plan would have been fucked up then, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
The scene where like the door is shut and then you just see a bunch of arrows go over the gate.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, oh fuck.
Yep.
It's like, ah, shit.
That would have fucked up that plan.
Ah, shit.
But they do end up surrounding the army.
Yeah, they do have a great advantage, but
that's probably why, because they're just like, oh, we have bigger numbers, so let's just fucking throw them out there.
Which also, like, when they do their charge, they want to, like, I would love to see the aerial shot of that where they all run in one direction and then they just get closed in on. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just so weird, but yeah, I'll roll with it. It's still a good film.
But they're the heroes. It's cool.
I don't know, they made it to the gate. They seem to be fighting off those ring wraith things pretty good. And even if they didn't, you could have Gandalf Nightlight reflect them off like he did before.
Oh yeah, that's another one of my things is Gandalf rides out with Pippin to deflect these things, and it's like, why would you like see these people retreating, be like, Pippin, we gotta move, Get up here, come on, you fat fucker! And he lifts him up on the like. No, just leave Pippin behind. And it was all just so they could have the contrivance of when Faramir meets Pippin, he has that look on his face, and Gandalf asks him if this is not the first Hobbit that he's met, and then they talk about Frodo. But I would have just had Pippin concerned about Gandalf when he came back, and just run up to him like, Gandalf, are you okay? You know what I mean? And then he would have still had the same result.
Yeah.
But that's my headcanon.
It doesn't seem like Mordor has very many of those evil flying things. Well, much like Gandalf, they would have been tempted to use it themselves and become evil.
I feel like the Eagles thing is basically just a joke now. It's just like, oh, why didn't they use the Eagles?
Yeah, maybe that's it. Like maybe number one was supposed to be really stupid.
Yeah.
Because he's
quote
unquote comedy.
I just think that this guy is really stupid.
Maybe.
Well, it's like
anytime I hear something about Lord of the Rings, it's always like, why didn't the Eagles fly there?
Oh,
yeah.
My fucking favorite one. Sorry, Tom. My favorite one is, how did the orcs know where the menu is? And it's like, obviously they're an army. Obviously they would have an orc that cooks, and obviously they'd have different meals throughout the week. So there would be a weekly menu of, today we're having fucking maggoty bread. Tomorrow, maggoty bread. Wednesday, man flesh. They fucking they know what a menu is regardless. It's not like there's restaurants, but it's a word. Like there's a school lunch menu. You get served a different thing throughout the week.
Yep.
In the process. For what? A 2-hour flight? If Frodo can resist for days on end, I think all the wise spirit gods can hold out as well. And shit, how the hell are they gonna put that ring on their claw anyway? Well,
it does change shape.
Stick out too much. A sneak attack makes much more sense than the grand.
Yeah, the ring changes size. It goes from really big from Sauron's hand to fit Isildur in the opening.
I keep forgetting that happened.
Scheme of things. Really? Because how many times do Sam and Frodo get spotted, captured, and injured? For every day it takes them to walk on foot, thousands of lives are probably being lost. Let's face it, people, it's only by pure fucking luck that
accidentally give it to us.
What'd you say?
I was saying better to, with the stakes being as high as they are, I don't know if a full frontal assault is really the best tactic to go with,
against Mordor?
A little risky. Yeah.
Yeah, like they said that there's no way of surviving that. The only reason that they did it at the end, it was to distract the eye so Frodo could make his way to Mount Doom.
Yeah, which is why I always say, well, the Eagles probably would have failed.
Yeah, they would have inevitably been shot down or worse. And like the whole thing, like in the books, they couldn't fly over Gondor because the Eagles would steal their sheep, so they were enemies to the race of men. Yeah. They would have shot them down.
Yeah,
because Gondor is right next to Mordor,
It's like right across the street.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It's right across Pelennor Fields there. It's right there.
It's like in Batman v Superman, like Gotham is like right across the street from where Superman lives.
It's like the next city over. It's like, oh, that's convenient.
Yeah.
That's convenient.
We can now have a movie.
Worked at all. Even Gandalf, several times in the movie, acknowledges this was probably the dumbest strategy they've ever come up with.
Wait, the strategy that you said that they should do?
Oh, why the hell did I do this? I should have used the Eagles.
I think all of us know how the ending of this film really should have.
That's like saying, like, we should have used, what's some religious shit? We should have used Jesus and Muhammad during the Iraq War. It would have just everything would just came out fine.
Jesus and Muhammad.
Yeah. Why didn't they just use Jesus and Muhammad during the Iraq War? It would have been over in like 2 days.
Yeah, they could have solved it.
Gone down.
I mean,
let's go back
to
to
be
that.
fair, they probably would have been on opposite sides.
No, they're peaceful.
Well.
Yeah. Area we demonstrated before.
I have a token.
They're passive.
Oh, here we go.
They're like the
skip.
Wakandans.
Yeah, I can definitely see now where that guy, what's his name? Cinematic dipshit?
Venom.
I can see,
Cinematic dipshit.
Cinematic dipshit.
I can see where he gets his inspiration now. It's all coming together.
Oh, yeah, because it wasn't obvious the first time.
The dwarves say Merry Christmas, motherfucker!
Whiskey. Even the series, how it should have ended.
I don't think any of the regular holidays exist in this world.
Got this.
No.
Well, that was incredibly easy.
Yes, it was.
Can you imagine what it would be like if we had walked the entire way?
Don't be so.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine? That's ridiculous.
You can make up whatever excuse you want. You can say that some way or another, this was the right thing to do.
No excuses.
But for me,
it was the right thing to do.
I mean, how it should have ended, they're just a joke channel.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not really gonna be listening to satire on legitimate criticisms.
This is by far.
I mean, sometimes they do have like, oh, it would be interesting to see how it ended that way, but it's not like, oh yeah, it should be taken seriously.
Yeah.
The dumbest.
I mean, I think they did the same thing with The Hobbit, how it should have ended videos.
I mean, anything would have been better than the way they made them.
Lord of the Rings moment.
Like they mentioned the Eagles again.
Now let's count down the most awesome Lord of the Rings moments. Oh wait, we can't, because there's too fucking many! Despite these problems, and I'm sure even more that exist, it doesn't change the fact that Lord of the Rings is one of the best film trilogies of all time. It gave so much, it changed so much, and as much as we like to poke fun of it, there's still just too much to like about it. As for me,
Oh wow, he actually said something agreeable.
Yeah, for once.
Finally.
I'm off to partake in the ancient Middle-earth art of dwarf tipping. I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy, remember? So you don't have to.
Salted pork.
Hey.
Wow. That's great.
Yay.
Doug
We
Walker.
did it.
Cancel
We did it.
Doug Walker.
We did it.
Yay.
Finally.
Yeah, that was way worse than Cinnamon Sins. Way
I don't know
worse.
about that, but it's pretty close. Pretty close.
Yeah. Well, at least he doesn't do these weird ass skits. You know.
Yeah. And at least like
talk about how gay everybody is.
Yeah, he was, and Nostalgia Critic wasn't ripping off someone and constantly showing clips of another YouTuber like, look, he said it, so...
It's funny that neither one of these guys knew about the car in The Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah.
Everybody like knows about it. I can never spot it. I know exactly what scene it's in, and I've seen like the still, and I'm like, yeah, that is a car. But I can never fucking see it whenever I watch it, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, that's an objective flaw, right? You know, that's something.
Yeah.
Objectively.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like the critics didn't even realize it was there when they filmed it either. So.
Another thing I was like really like thinking about was in the first movie, like how the main threat is the Nazgul, up until basically, let's see, I guess it's when's the last time that we see him? Right, is when they're on the peak and Aragorn fights them off. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
And then I forget how.
I mean, we see Arwen go after, like when they chase Arwen.
Yeah, that's set up earlier, but like
when they get washed away.
And then they're like not in the rest of the movie, and I'm like, well, I mean, they do go through the mines of Moria, which is a faster route through the mountain, so it does make sense since they're on the horse and they can't just fly over the mountain, that it may take them more time, that they're not, you know, the main threat for the rest of it. Yeah, does that make sense? Because I was trying to figure out what happened to him after that, because you don't see him the rest of the movie, right? So that's pretty much the conclusion that I drew on that. Another thing that I noticed, especially in the Two Towers, Legolas's eyes change color from blue to brown. Because
Arwen's eyes also different in The Hobbit too, I think.
They're like
really
the
fucking
gray.
blue. Yeah, they're like really off-put. Like they're not natural at
Yeah.
all. And maybe that's what they were going for, but it's like, just make it consistent with the other film. How about we just try that?
I like the idea that like Legolas was buff as fuck, and he had like these different, like these strong colored eyes, and then like as it got to the Lord of the Rings, he like got skinny. He got super skinny.
Yeah.
Like he didn't do anything.
He got like cracked skinny.
Yeah.
Yeah, those fucking movies are terrible.
I'm looking at Nostalgia Critic's channel, and his videos, like, a lot of them have just stayed at like 500,000 views, and that's about it. Normally his get like a million, but I guess people aren't finding him funny anymore.
Well,
Yeah.
People are finally beginning to wake up.
Wake up, sheeple.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing I was trying to, well, I said I would talk about Haldir's death. Dude, he stabbed right through his plate armor.
That's dumb.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where armor just doesn't work now.
Armor is paper mache.
Yep.
Just like Game of Thrones season 8.
Yep.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I did not watch season 8.
I haven't watched Game of Thrones.
I've
never seen it. I had considered it because my mom always told me some good things about it.
Have you not watched the series?
I've never seen it.
Oh my god!
I've only seen like one or two
it was
episodes.
On HBO. I never had it. I don't even buy like cable or anything. But now it's like on like what, Hulu, and don't they already have their own streaming now?
HBO Max. Yeah.
Everybody's gonna.
What the fuck is HBO Max?
I tried getting into it, but I only get like into like 1 to 2 episodes. I only watched like 1 or 2 episodes, and that was about it for me.
I loved Game of Thrones up until season 6.
Yeah, I didn't mind season. I like season 6. Didn't mind it. It was season 7.
No, season 7 is the first season I didn't like. Well, I didn't like 5 that much. But it didn't like ruin anything for me. But that's why I didn't watch season 8, because season 7 I hated so much. I was like, season 8's gonna suck dick.
Yeah, I didn't like a lot of 5.
Yeah,
but I didn't hate the whole thing.
Yeah, same.
And
5 was just kind of like forgettable.
Yeah. Season 6 had similar problems, but like the good stuff was just really fucking good for me. That it brought it back. I agree. And then 7 happened, and I was like, "What is happening?"
Nah, I was done after that shit. I was like, I'm not
like, where did we go wrong? Why are we here? Just to suffer.
That's what we all ask ourselves, Tom. Why are we here?
Why are we living?
Why are you
gay? It gives us those existential questions.
Why are you gay?
Another thing that I thought was humorous, I guess, is Theoden. He gets like stabbed right in the shoulder with a spear.
He gets like bitten by the thing, doesn't he?
Bitten? Oh yeah, that's in the second movie. I'm talking about in Helm's Deep. He gets stabbed at the gates. In
the shoulder?
Yep, in the shoulder. And then that injury never comes about. He just nothing ever comes of it, and he gets on the horse and he rides down all those lines of orcs. But none of those orcs have the sense to take out the horse's legs.
Yeah,
I think that's probably the weakest part of Helm's Deep, even though it's probably one of the most epic, that they had to get the people back out to the fields so that Gandalf could show up. But
yeah.
Why do you think the hobbits waited so long to tell Faramir about Boromir? Because they literally wait until they're dragged into Osgiliath, where the attack is. You'd be like, your brother was driven mad by the ring, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's because it's mostly just the fact that, they don't really have a lot of time to really talk. They need to get to the mountain. And, who knows if they just said, oh yeah, well, we don't really know, and he's just like, well, you need to tell me. I mean, they didn't even know that he died. But, like, he probably would have kept them with him.
That's true.
And be like...
They didn't know that he died, but they knew that the ring had driven him mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he told them that he died, and I bet if, like, he probably would have kept them around if he had not seen how serious the ring issue was.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the, this is one of the dumbest things in Lord of the Rings. Breaks the entire plot. Is at the end when they take off the orc armor, right? And in the eye is like scanning over the area, and it comes to Frodo when he falls behind the rock. There's a line in Fellowship that the eye can see through earth, cloud, and flesh. So he'd be looking right at Frodo, especially since he can somewhat sense the ring, I guess.
Yeah.
Funny how that works, The ring calls out to him, except for when it doesn't.
Yeah, that's very accurate.
And I would have just cut that part. Like, just cut that little part. It's like 5 seconds. It doesn't really do anything to enhance the plot at all. And then there's that ant that catches fire. Every time I see it, like even when I was a kid, it's like, well, that was quick because wet wood doesn't burn. Maybe that's a special kind of like magic or ant that's like dry. You know what I mean? But I always thought that was weird.
But other than that, it's perfect.
No, I still got a whole page here. What about when the part when Frodo is in Gilead and the ring takes control of him and he goes up the steps and the Fell Beast comes to get the ring? Yeah? You remember that part?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So like Faramir shoots one arrow into it and it just fucks off forever. It's just like, one arrow, I'm out of here. And I always thought that was a bit strange.
No, they're just more scared of the white man.
Yeah. Must be it. I don't know. Is Eowyn a simp? Can women be simps? This is the existential question.
Yes, they can.
Yeah. I would say they can, but like I don't want to say never, but I can't understand. I can't understand like why she fell in love with Aragorn. You know what I mean?
Because he's handsome.
Yeah, she's just like sipping out the entire time.
Yeah.
Aragorn's a snack.
He is.
No.
Yeah, I guess that must be it. It is strange because it's like even from the first moment that they meet, like when Theoden is he's like sick or whatever with Saruman, she comes in to like save him because she doesn't know what's happening with Gandalf and him, and then Aragorn saves him, and she just gives him this look like, well, fuck me,
Hey man, love at first sight. It's
it must
thing,
be.
maybe?
It must be real. It must be a real thing. Why does Saruman have so much long bottom leaf when he's always talked so poorly about it? He's just a closet like a weed smoker.
I was looking up Aragorn on Google, and there's an article that says the guy who plays the dad in Batwoman was asked to play the role of Aragorn.
I don't watch that shit. I have no idea.
The What'd You Bring Me?
Oh my god.
I'm glad he wasn't.
Jesus. Elrond, what'd you bring me?
Yeah.
A sword.
Mr. Aragorn. Anyways, I think the biggest plot hole is in the opening of Two Towers, when Smeagol is fishing. Clearly, that hook is bigger than that worm. I mean, there's no way you would have hooked that worm. The fucking hook is like twice as thick as the worm.
Okay, these critiques are starting to drop off a bit, Dan.
I was just kidding with that one. That one was a joke. Why does Smeagol speak in Like, you know how he like speaks as two, like we and us and all that.
Smeagol and Gollum.
Yeah, he spoke like that before he got the ring. He said, "Give us that." That's a weird choice.
He's obviously non-binary. He's got like two bits of.
Yeah, gives them that.
he identifies as a they.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. That's fair then, I guess.
Like how Dan's just like, yeah, that's fair. You know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'll just roll with it.
Yeah, fuck it.
Fuck it at this point. I forget what my point was. I wrote this in the dark. I wrote, the enemy thinks Pippin has the ring, but the ring was last seen in Gondor. Okay, yeah, by the ring wraith, the one I was talking about on the Fell Beast. So I just don't understand how that works, because I thought like there's like some sort of link between Sauron and his henchmen, right? And Pippin picks up the Palantir, the fucking bowling ball, you know? And then Sauron thinks that he has the ring, and it's like, wait, they just saw it in Gondor. Surely somebody would report, like, hey, we just saw it in Gondor. Talked about Arwen. Talked about... Oh, there was a, you know, when they're paddling across the river, the first guy that's killed with an arrow, it goes through his Gondor plate armor. The armor just shoots him right in the chest.
Oh yeah.
They're really good arrows, though, I'm sure. When they light the beacons, there's one beacon that's above the clouds. It's like, well, how's anybody gonna see that? they literally had to wait for a clear day, I guess.
For the clouds to clear.
Yeah.
Imagine if like someone fell off the mountain as they were trying to light it. They're like, "Fuck!" as they go down.
Yeah, Jesus.
Always
ruin it for everyone.
I think it's a bit of a contrivance that the Rohan decide to place their camp right at the Dimholt Road, and then Elrond just happens to show up with the blade that he just so happens to need, so he can go down the road to get the army that he just so happens to need to defeat.
That's a little convenient.
Yeah. Would have been nice had he got the sword earlier or something. I don't know. Yeah, and it's really weird that Theoden changes his mind about Merry, because Merry asks him if he can be in his army, and fucking Theoden's like, yeah, I'd be honored. I'm gonna make you a Heroan Esquire. And then like 3 days later, he's like, my men cannot burden you. It's a 3 days ride. And he just leaves him there. It's like, but you drug him all this way for what?
He's just racist against hobbits.
It would have made more sense had they had Éomer make that call, because he didn't like Merry going to war anyways, and he's high enough in the ranking that he could have made that call. You guys know who Éomer is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think so.
Why is Faramir dragged back alive after the rest of his squad is killed and beheaded, by the way?
Yeah.
The catapults. We talked about that. And this one breaks the plot too. Breaks it in half. You know, when the spider's chasing Frodo, he gets caught in the web. The spider is just behind Frodo when he cuts himself out. He comes out, and then the spider proceeds to wait until Frodo and Smeagol are done talking, fighting, and then being knocked out before he comes out.
Could you imagine if the spider took Gollum? Like it just came by and it was just like, and then it just grabbed Gollum and then Gollum just screams as he's taken away.
Yeah, that would have been pretty good. But then you wouldn't have.
Like, ah!
Oh yeah, I got something to ask you guys at the end too. I'm almost done. I only got a few more. But yeah, it's just weird that the spider just hangs out while Frodo's passed out and while they're fighting and all that stuff.
Obviously, it didn't get there yet.
Well, it was just a few feet behind him. Nazgul conveniently disappear. Oh yeah, after they take out the trebuchets, they're just gone for the entire fight. There's 9 of them, and the Nazgul are basically an effective air force, right? I mean, to have an air force during that time would be, you know, the best thing that you could have. But they just fuck off, except for one of them.
Like, I remember they tore, like, a couple of them up when they were fighting. But, I didn't think they got all of the trebuchets.
No, I'm talking about the Nazgul did disappear, not the like they're just gone after that. And they would have came in really handy when Theoden rode his riders down, as that they've already been established as being superior to fighting the cavalry, because they slammed through them. So, I don't know. They just disappear, I guess. Smeagol swore. Okay, this is what I want. Oh yeah, I'll skip that one. Troll at the end. Oh, did you? These aren't criticisms now, but I was just wondering if you guys knew the troll at the end, the one that puts his foot on Aragorn, that was originally supposed to be Sauron.
Oh, really?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, but then they thought like it would be too confusing to the audience what the stakes actually were and what actually needed to happen for, you know, the battle to be won, so they turned it into a troll, which I like much better, honestly.
Yeah, I do too.
And then
could you imagine if they had it to where, like, the scene from, like, the first where Isildur is fighting him, and you just see that come back?
Yeah, there's like a callback.
Yeah. Except for
But I kinda like
would be
the
no
troll.
ring to cut off.
True.
And then at the end, there's 3 eagles that come to pick up Frodo and Sam. And the last one was supposed to be for Gollum. Isn't that sad?
Wait, what?
Oh, at the end, when Frodo and Sam are on the lava rocks, there's 3 eagles. Gandalf is riding one. The one that Gandalf is on grabs Frodo. Another one grabs Sam, and then the other one looks, and there's nobody there, so it just flies off. It was for Gollum. I always thought that was a nice touch.
Could you imagine if they didn't take Gollum with them, they just ate him?
Wait, did they know that Gollum was a thing?
Yeah, Gandalf did.
I'm curious as to what Gandalf's plan
he knew
was.
that he existed. What do you mean by a thing? He knew that he had been
Like, with
following
them.
Frodo since the Mines of Moria.
I think he means, like, did he know that Gollum was gonna be with Frodo and Sam, taking them to Mordor?
Faramir saw it. He
Yeah.
talked to Gandalf. He even asked him if he saw Frodo and Sam, and he said, yeah. I'm sure they had a discussion about the other guy that was creepy and with them.
Yeah, but he probably didn't say that he went with them.
Why wouldn't he?
But, like, I kind of wonder what Gandalf's plan was.
Like, Faramir grabs Gollum and beats him up. Well, he, like, slams him against the wall and says, if any harm comes to those hobbits, I will find you. So clearly he's concerned. He would tell Gandalf. Why wouldn't he?
Was that in the extended edition?
Yeah.
Okay, then. But,
Isaiah, do you remember that thing I sent you? It was a while back. And I'm trying to remember all of it, but the theory was that Smeagol is the reason the ring was destroyed because he swore on it. He swore on the precious. And I think the swearing was he wouldn't betray Master, right? And then he does, and then the ring is immediately destroyed.
So interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. I never really thought about it that way. But I did see it. I don't know if it's only in the extended edition, but Frodo like says something to him while they're fighting for it. At the end, inside the volcano, he's like, you swore on the precious. And Smeagol's just like, yeah, I lied. You know what I mean? And then he gets the ring, and then he falls into the volcanic lava. But yeah, there's flaws in it. They're not what this guy says. You know what I mean? But there's flaws, and most of them are minor. I only had like 2 things that actually like break the plot. You know, and most of those things are just things that I find humorous. You know what I mean? Like they don't really change anything. Like if you took all of those out, or if you took all of these issues out, it wouldn't change the story except for 2 of them.
No. Yeah.
So you know, most of these things are just minor things. They don't matter.
I would say they're not like the most like important parts of the film. Maybe they don't get that much attention, so they're probably easily forgotten.
Yeah.
But I would give Nostalgia Critic's video a 0 out of 10 or a -100 out of 10.
I would give him a 0 out of 11. Because it was 11 out
extra
of,
mile.
Yeah, well, it was 11 dumbest Lord of the Rings moments, so.
I give him
seems proper.
We had 1 good point.
Yeah, I give him a 0.1 because he made 1 good point.
Which one was it again?
Saruman.
Yeah, that was. I'm sorry. 1 out of 11.
Which one? Arwen?
No, well, that one's pretty.
Oh.
That one's pretty up there too.
I don't know.
It doesn't change anything. It's not a major plot, but it is confusing.
Yeah. The Saruman one was...
I'm actually surprised that he picked up on that, because he doesn't seem like he paid attention, and that's not something that I ever picked up on, like my first few times watching it. Came much later, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, what a massive.
Agreed.
What time is it there, Tom?
It's bedtime. 2 a.m.
No time for cinema sins, unfortunately.
Oh god,
no.
Well, like his videos are short though; they're like 7 minutes.
It's like in the early stages of Cinema Sins where his videos were short.
I mean, if I watched any more of that, I would pull a Frodo and commit suicide.
I was gonna say you would likely have nightmares tonight, so I don't want to.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna sleep.
Yeah.
But it was fun in a fucked up way. It was fun.
Yeah.
And I'm absolutely so happy that I got to watch Nostalgia Critic again after so many years of avoiding him.
Sorry that I'm introduced.
Yeah, this was not fun. I only covered this one because I mean that's what people wanted to see. So.
It was topical.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What the fuck was that?
That was my dog. I'm sorry.
Oh.
It sounded like a little hobgoblin.
Sorry.
He's just like a little laser sock drawer. He pops out.
He was yipping at the big dog that was on the bed.
He's a yapper.
Do you guys want to cover Cinema Sins ones or nah?
Well, I'm gonna shoot off and.
No, I don't mean tonight, Tom. I mean ever.
Well,
ever in life.
Well, just the
you
way
didn't specify.
Well, the way it was worded sounded like you wanted to do it now.
No, I'm sorry. No, ever. Like I want to know if you're.
Oh yeah, I'll do it. Oh yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. Tom's my man. What about you, sir? Isaiah? Fresh Prince of Wakongo.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Alright. And I'm sure you're interested. Lady of I don't have anything good yet.
I was waiting for you to say something mean.
Lady of lady?
Yeah.
Lady of ladies. Cool. Good night, everyone. Isaiah, did you get a snack?
Yes, I returned.
One snacky boy.
Oh yeah, but Dan, did you see the X-Men picture I posted?
Fuck, that's loud.
Are we not waiting for your friend anymore?
I don't know if he'll make it.
He's on like a business trip in Poland or something.
Yeah. He's got some business to take care of.
Yeah.
Unfinished business.
I'm the Nostalgia Critic. I remember, so you don't have to. Who's there?
And we watch you, so
echo.
people don't have to. Okay, who's touching it?
I'm not.
I'm just like it keeps loading for me. Like the video won't play. Sorry.
Leave it to a woman to fuck everything up.
I'm sorry.
All right, I see 1, 2, 3, and then one that's gonna fuck it up. Who's it gonna be?
I'm not touching it. I'm not touching anything.
Are you in?
Yeah.
Isaiah, are you in?
Wakongo?
Uh-oh. We lost our fresh prince.
Oh shit, sorry, I was still muted.